Interesting. That's all I'm going to say. Interesting. 4-0 to RUSHB. And attack pause going to be called there by TSM. I think it's probably a good time for a conversation. Everything they've tried so far, not worked. Not even slightly. They're barely even getting towards bomb plant territory. And we've just seen it once again towards that round. Very simple fights being taken. Coming through, you know, we see TSM time and time again trying to take a lot of space through mid and trying to use that as a catalyst to kind of further room. Nothing's working. RUSHB have always got an answer for it. I think when you kind of get into these sort of situations, that's where once again you maybe have to start asking questions about maybe your style of play here. I think probably the best thing, in a weird way, and I know it's kind of ironic to say, the best thing you could do here, if you're TSM, is to rush. Try and catch them off guard.
A couple of Galils to play with in this next buy-up, 3 of them overall. Money's still hurting. The lack of the bomb plants will continue to affect TSM here. Go back to basics. Set piece seems to be the setup into the A site, and I guess you would want to go back to basics when the more complicated stuff isn't working out for you. Need to hit their shots, though. It's going to be a very early execution for Team Solo mid. Smokes down to connect the jungle, and stairs. Nade sent back. Kinky's caught Cypher to 19 points of HP. Will evade the counter nades of the T side line. The bomb trying to cross back and get planted very quickly as well. Jack's now worn down to 14 points of health, but they do come up with a 5-on-5 in the post plant.
Kinky waiting. The Cypher's on the other side. He's so damn low as well. Flashing and coming towards the corner. Cypher going to try and use it. He spots one, but he'll be dropped anyway. Executor through the smoke. Finds him as Cypher falls. This is now starting to, well, fall apart. The TSM, well, he's still got a bit of time to work with.
Nades and mollies onto Firebox. Moto backed up here with the AK. And the flank in from Volde can finally close in the pincers against Nota, but Kinky able to respond. Jax trying to hold on at low HP. Volde and Moto get cleaned up onto the bomb site. They will make their way. Jax caught off. Inter just needs to deny the bomb defuse, but not going to happen. Way too many players on the site. And way too much presence to deal with. 5-0 now for RUSHB.
There's no competition. I mean, that's a lot better from TSM. Again, out on towards that site, get a bomb plant, try to work in a post plant. All they had to do was buy a little bit of extra time on that tail end. I thought Cypher maybe had a chance as he's playing around that smoke. He gets caught on the right-hand side of it, a little bit of a spam through, and it's quite simple in terms of the retake. RUSHB not leaving a lot of time on that clock, though, to execute back on towards the A site and reclaim that territory. Did look a little dicey for a second, thankfully. Was okay. Now, Molotov towards ramp. Kinky gonna play around it. Nobody there to meet him, but Executor might get a freebie. Spam him from short. Kinky and Kiro will combine, but Kiro gets traded.
A 3-on-3 thanks to Valde's responsive, but again, he's low HP. Cypher did find the opening kill. Intis has found the one that gets the advantage back for TSM. That short control now leaving 1 player per site. Bomb yet to commit, though. Someone's got to go back and grab it. Fortunately, TSM had plenty of time, but there's a spanner into the works. Texty here with the AK, pressing on towards the apartments, as is Kinky going in towards ramp, trying to find Modo here, and he's not quite ready for that AK. So there's an engagement to be found, the bomb to get picked up and should be committed to the site.
Finally looks like TSM going to break that curse, unless this 1v3 gets pulled off. This would be incredible. And he's not got a bad position to do it as well. 1v3. Slowly moving his way through mid here. You got Inters in towards short, and he's probably the biggest kind of category for success here. Playing out through ladder. If he can find him on the drop down, this will give him a lot of space. And now he's heard him. Should be a freebie. Should be a freebie and will. We'll find him. 1v2, this is doable.
Especially with Volde being on 17 HP, the individual fights could get won by Texty. As an idea of the default position, the smoke will confirm it. The Molotov sent back. The backstab again coming in from Volde, though. Nice pulled out. AK spray comes in. And that is a 2K secured by the man. And finally an opening round being taken by TSM. Starts have been gained. RUSHB been denied the half tie-up score of 6. They've got plenty of cash to play with, so they're going to break out the double ops to immediately try and answer back.
Yeah, it's a really important position to now be in. I think for TSM, they had to break that curse. They had to basically just get a little bit of confidence under their belt, and thankfully now they will. But a double orb setup is very scary to now come against. Something which, as we can see with TSM, they can't answer with themselves. They just don't simply have the funds to do so. Double nade going to come through. Triple nade, in fact, as Executor. We'll get out of dodge in time. Look at the space that now RUSHB are reclaiming. All the way through ramp, they're going to realize nobody's here, but the rotation's coming over.
And continue to hold their aggressive angle over on Nota's part. Hiding back behind that pillar. Trying to find the right places at the right times. Inter's waiting for Kinky's aggression and will be able to find him. Nota doesn't find anything on his own engagement. Will fall backline passive. Try swinging the check above that smoke if there's anybody that might be boosted. There is no one there though. Molotovs will just keep the CTs at bay. TSM have a man advantage and they'll play with that.
They're not desperate to go to A here. And I like this call in the mid-round. Double away. You know, you look at some of the individuals over towards CSM, a lot of experience in that team. It's a pretty heads-up call. Stick as a pack, play the numbers game. In every situation, they should have an advantage. But that's not the matchup here. Goes over seconds. This is that one.
I'm going to hold back behind the smoke, but holding with no scopes at close quarters. One player seen, but the no scope doesn't connect. Valde and Cypher clean house, swarm the bomb site, and overwhelm RUSHB. And secure their second on the trot. Nota and Kiro have no business in a retake. They're going to hold on to their guns.
This is probably the best way to play it, especially with that AWP. They've got money to a degree. At least Kiro can drop over pretty comfortably. Nota can do the same, and then for Executor and Texas, they can kind of buy back in. So it isn't the worst situation to be in the kind of the grand scheme. They've still got what is a comfortable gap in terms of the round differential. They're still in a position where we can feel relatively comfortable about them. I don't think it's going to slip too quickly. Any extra frags here would be pretty notable, but Nota sticking around, it feels quite risky. Drops a molly, waiting for seconds, will find it, and just about survives as well. The bomb goes off, and he's still not far enough away. So, made very expensive on the tail end there. Nota going in for 2 kills, I think does put a little bit more of that financial pressure on towards TSM. But overall, RUSHB still got a 3-round lead. We've still got a position where I think everything feels relatively comfortable for them. And they don't need to worry just yet. If this round slips, however, that'll put us into a different conversation. There's a little bit of money left in reserves for TSM. That isn't the same situation, really, for RUSHB. It's only kind of Execute sitting on 2K. Everybody else under makes us feel a little bit uncomfortable. So, RUSHB look like to be about to be met with a RUSHB.
Flashes, sent, HGs will whittle down the HP early on, but the Mat 10 of Jack so far, so very little scathed. Executor wary of the quick play around the corner towards him and doesn't quite deal with him. Modo's AWP struck first and technically can get one back. It's still a 2-for-1 overall that favours TSM. The AWP of Kiro can bring it back to an even man stance. The bombs so far coming in the corner, but they're not quite aware of it. So a trade from Valde, a swing from Nota, grabs the AWP player. And it's a 2 versus 2 now. TSM separated from their positions. The AWP continuing to land shots on Cypher and finding Valde next, only on Cypher. 23 points of health for the clutch, and he hasn't got the bomb.
This is the big problem. No bomb, no post plant, and no health either. Surely done, and will be. What a retake coming through. Nota and Kiro playing that perfectly in kind of what felt like essentially a 2 versus 4. Getting 2 kills apiece is so damn important. That was really, really well played. And I think once again, we have to ask questions about what TSM, you know, we've seen this is a side who have done really well at claiming a lot of space and really well at kind of utilizing some of the changes in tempo, but not getting that bomb down cost them so much. If they put the pressure on towards RUSHB on that retake with the bomb planted, then they would have been comfy, but never given that luxury.
And TSM can only tie up the T side. Nade damage again being done so effectively on the RUSHB camp. Modo 47 HP. Valde tagged to just under 60, I should say. And Nota takes Cypher for 0. First man down in the round. Nota being seen aggressing so far forward on this CT side. It's such an aggressive CT side in general from RUSHB. And now he's going to have the full stack control. If they try and re-aggress, they've got to clear this position out.
I think it's starting to be an idea by TSM. They've tried over towards B and it's worked, right? They've got at least that space on the side. They just kind of failed in the post bomb. I think that's where, at least in the early round, a lot of their attention's being focused on. The only issue is leaving vulnerabilities elsewhere. And one of those big ones is through mid. You can already see the space that Nota's got here. And of course, the 2 kills he's got too. That alone is what feels like the big win factor for RUSHB. All he has to do is take on this position. Ooh, but Jax finds him with a fadeaway.
Very nicely done. Very nicely placed. Now TSM going to place themselves in for the round itself. They've only got one pick back. It's still a man advantage for RUSHB. They're going to go for the execution. It seems to be the split into A. Bomb outside of ramp. One player from mid. They have a smoke and a flash to get them in and suppress one angle of the CT defensive. But with the way that they're approaching these positions, it seems just to be another rifle save call. RUSHB will win the half as a result of that. And TSM just being allowed very little look-ins in terms of this matchup. CT forces will now have the half, and the TSM, it just continues to get worse and worse as these rounds go on. At least they can recover the upgrade rifles, the AK on Volde, and these three weapons will be important to them from here because Modo and Cypher don't have money to buy it. Inters, Jax, and Volde obviously don't have money to drop. The second tactical gets called in by TSM, who are really running out of ideas.
Yeah, I think as well for TSM, they realize that in this map, if they can't even set up any sort of foundations on the T side, there's no conversation anymore. That's why they're using 2 out of 3 this early on. You sometimes question when teams are very proactive with attack pauses, especially now in ML12, right? ESL, of course, are one of the few competitions right now that have actually reduced tactical timeouts from the traditional 4 back in the kind of the MR15 world. Now into old 3 in just MR12, and of course because of that you have to limit when you can take these pauses, bring the coach in towards the conversation and the rest. And for TSM calling them this early, it feels a little bit laissez-faire with them, but I think overall it's definitely the right call. They know they have no control in this game. They've got to do everything they can to try and get it.
I mean, even with the nature of MR12 and the round differences, right? Like 5 rounds in MR15 used to be like, okay, it's manageable of a comeback. Yeah. In terms of this, like it's enough to win the half, as I've just stated before. And if it grows any further, then, I mean, one of the worst score lines is, at the turn of the half is like around like 4 to 6 or so. So for TSM, like it's not a very good position to be in terms of the new context of the rule sets of CS2. These Galils continuing to be a hindrance to them. Of course, they have scraped them together. AK on Volde, the orb still on Modo. Only 2 kills for him so far in this matchup. Kiro riding up high at 10 on the RUSHB side. Neither player will meet each other in mid as of yet. RUSHB playing behind these smokes.
Already. Nice and quiet for the time being. This has been classic TSM. A lot of mid control, but then they feel like they get lost a little bit. They're looking for a fight here. Note might want to double away, and he just about gets around the corner in time.
Yeah, Jax not knowing that he missed his window. Modo has hit, or at least attempted to hit a shot. Actually, a shot comes up against him. That nade lobbed up, lands quite high above the heads of the players. So again, just tickling away the HP bars as they go for the quick plays in. Notice swung out towards Connector at the right timing, but Modo and Cypher have recovered a couple of kills. Now the XM, the auto shotgun from Texty, swings up, catches Cypher, looks back in, sees and knows exactly where Inters is. Modo's AWP, all that remains, a 1-on-3 shot to connect against the first player, but the AWP Kiro is locking him out from the bomb site. He's got to cross into this crack angle. The shot doesn't quite connect, so the plant can be secured, but very quickly, nades and CT responsives will come out. Kinky will overwhelm, find the retake, and make it 8 for the CT side.
It's been a very, very easy half for Counter-Strike, all things considered. RUSHB, just everything that TSM are throwing at them. They've got an answer for it. Plays that it seems to be working wonders for RUSHB right now. It has been, again, we have to say, just fundamentally so simple. Very little kind of conversations to be had about what TSM have got in terms of response. Thankfully, I guess with Lost Bonus and Bomb Plant, that can always relate to a kind of a full buy coming through. We aren't really seeing too much of the AWP power, but just because their money's always been so unstable. But an 8-2 scoreline is already not good at all. TSM, this is getting rough. And honestly, the way things are panning out, I think it might get a bit worse, Jay.
Yeah. RUSHB already tagging down Modo as they try to go back into the set piece, this time with a couple of smokes on Connector and Jungle. Nota does get the kill on Jax, trying to regress further forward. Cypher's swing does get Kinky at least. It's a 4-on-4 with the bomb plant coming down. Executor can't do anything from his position to deny it. Now try those blind spray store in the Connector position, trying to deny where that bomb plant position was. Cypher can catch. Nota, no, he can't. Oh, I thought he had him pinned in a corner, able for the easy spray, but he didn't connect the kill shot at 4 HP. The man's alive. And TSM are down once again. A flank from Modo is inbound from mid. Kiro might be able to cut it off as he checks out all the common positions. AWP is also leaning in for the retake. I think Modo's revealed himself. Time running out on TSM here. RUSHB onto the bomb site, onto the defuse. It's no to low HP. And the 3 kills come in for them. They're not getting the kill shot. He's on 4 points of health. And RUSHB keep it together again for a 9th.
So close, yet so far as well. That is heartbreaking for TSM. I'm still questioning why RUSHB took so long to even get onto the site to give it a go. In a 4 versus 2 there, they took so much time to get out on towards the A side to even give it a crack at a retake. But when it comes down to it, that smoke ninja defuse, nice and simple. TSM 1 bullet is all that needs to connect. And they couldn't do it. They just couldn't. 9-2. We could see RUSHB heading towards the second half at double digits already. That is pretty damning, all things considered. Modo in the flames, in trouble. And Texi's got his old trusty out once again, the auto shotgun.
Worked for him last time. See if it'll do it right here. And again, right position to play it, just below the apartments. They do decide to commit, and they can, of course, make their way in. They will cancel, though. TSM were up there initially. They've gone back in from underpass and broken away towards top mid as well. The HE from Executor. Oh, just so perfectly placed onto Modo. 8 HP for him.
Now, Modo solo. Still feels like not enough space created here. This doesn't feel great. Kinky's tucked in towards the cubby once again. He's going to hit all of this information. What a swing. What a 5 for 2. And still untraded. Not even a damage here. Jack in the swing. Will find him in the end. It was a pretty Nota comes in. Reclaims the space. Makes it 2. And that'll be that at the turn of the half. 10-2. RUSHB are in complete control. Can they continue it after the break?
There needs to be a serious dig deep personality behind TSM if they want to bring back this 8-round deficit. RUSHB have not even been tested so far in this matchup. And the CT side now rests with the underdogs in this circumstance. They will need to bring home a comeback, Neo. Pistol round does find Kinky first. That's at least a positive start for Modo. Valde also in mid has seen another player. Jack's been caught off, tagged up elsewhere, so responsives are in, and RUSHB are walking the open A bomb site.
Bit of space. Not a nice enough shot, though, because Cypher's coming for 2. That is a really nice kind of response to the space that was being created, and now for RUSHB. Unfortunately, in a lot of trouble. Xuse gets deleted, just looking completely the wrong way. And Nota left all alone. This pistol was completely torn apart.
There's Cypher with the triple. Perfect 3K. Perfect headshots on the majority. And there you go. Something, a little bit of brilliance from the young man of TSM, who some have said has been underperforming ever since he joined this team. And I mean, in terms of the overall squad itself, I mean, he is only 3rd highest rated ever since CS2's start. But in that round, impact like that and him leading the scoreboard right now for his team is going to make a difference if TSM want to bring this one back home. They've got the rifles. The Glocks are in for RUSHB. No bomb plant, no force buy. See if they can make this a formality.
What's the call here? You've got just Glocks, not expecting basically anything at all, but a bomb plant would be lovely. Would at least give you those kind of extra funds in the back pocket going in towards your full buy. Might even push those in towards a little bit of extra utility around the belt. RUSHB nice and quiet, nice and slow. It looks like we want to head towards mid. Don't know what they do with it though. But in towards mid they go. They get the space, throw it over 2. And yeah, pretty simple. As expected, pistols at range against their forever. Only going to go one way, and Modo will mow them down. 3 to his name. Cypher gets 2. Very simple.
Indeed it was. Nicely done for TSM, but again, it was only the Glocks, without armor, without utility, without any real resistance that you would hope to speak of for a T-side line. The AKs are out here and now in round 15. And there's still 6 rounds to try and make up for Team Solo mid. Only 3 for RUSHB to take control of this matchup and take over the first map of the best of 3. So a lot more work needs to be done there on the CT side. I mean, they'll take the easy affairs and the formalities when you can. The task starts here with Executor. First man alongside Kinky trying to prod in initially towards that ramp face. Jax facing him with the SMG at range, has not seen anything. Modo will start prodding. Executor spotting the individual. Kinky does get overwhelmed. A little bit too greedy there at ramp. Modo might also overextend, but it works for him.
2v5. TSM making this look pretty simple. In the early part of the CT side, you know, Mirage statistically one of the more CT-sided maps. At the tail end of Go, it was 3rd most coming in towards CS2. It feels like it's elevated ever so slightly on that C side, but still remains heavily favored. For TSM, that's what they need to hear. They need any sort of confidence heading in towards the second half, and right now looking so. Modo again, a double entry to open up the round. For RUSHB left on 3, they don't really know what to do. Texie's trying to open up a bit of space over towards B. Looks like he'll probably be able to do so as well. And he has Kiro in support, not too far behind.
Inter's heard the footstep. Must be aware that he's out here at the van. Holds his nerve, goes for the swing, and does find the man in the end. So 2 left standing on the RUSHB side. TSM wear down these 20-second marker. Note has been heard as well. Jax doesn't quite land the kill for it though. The AK able to adjust. They should hold on to 2 of them for the tail end of round 15. TSM. There you go. Foundations of the comeback of the CT side. A 5th now on their board. RUSHB. Very early doors. Their economy not built in. There's not really a lot of buying room, I think, around these AKs. I mean, they could go in for the investment and find a couple of Galils. It might be safer to go for the half buy, and Kinky agrees.
I think it's probably the right way to play around this. I feel like having a little bit extra money left in his pockets, go back into the rifles next round, that matters more. If you can get a couple of kills with the pistols, that'd be great. In this sort of round as well, bomb plant goes an incredibly long way. The only thing that kind of really worries you is maybe kind of Noto and Kiro, because they're in that double eco territory due to saving. Yeah, unlucky in the flash. Because in that double eco territory, if those rifles fall, then it will change things up a bit. They're not going to have a lot of money, and Noto's not going to start things off well.
First kill down for Jax. One of the two AK is removed. Nexty now with his Deagle set in. Cypher going to clear out the mid window smoke and find Executor as well. So now one of the pistols end up dropping. Two players form up to try to go for the quick B hit. Perhaps they could secure a bomb plant if Kiro can distract them, but they are sacrificing the AK to get that distraction in. He's walking. Orpamoto finds him. And now Texty and Kinky have just got to try and commit here and hope that Inter doesn't mow through them. AK in his hands, first player spotted. Spray does get quite a lot of damage. The player also being hurt to the left, should it adjust. 2 HP on the last man. Volde can clean him up. It's a team ace for TSM. And RUSHB now have only a 4-round lead.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. I think this is an okay position now for TSM to be in. I mean, I still feel like it's maybe ever so slightly a little early to talk about kind of comebacks and to talk about this game being on, but these are the right moments where that kind of door to that conversation starts to open. This is a lot better. TSM look a lot more proactive in terms of the early fights, and this is the problem that we saw when TSM were on their T side. They were very tentative in a lot of these fights they were taking. They looked a little nervy, a little unsure in terms of what they were doing and why they were doing it. Not the case on the CT side. They've got an idea. These defaults that have been played out very early round by TSM are doing a lot of legwork for them, and it always helps having individuals like Modo and Cypher getting minimum a kill every round so far on it towards the CT side. That is helping them out a hell of a lot. So far, so good for TSM. But that comeback is far from completed. It's in a 4-round deficit. Still quite a ways to go. RUSHB back into a bye. Nota and Kira, of course, who opts to save the AKs, only have Gilil's in this.
Of course, the 4 guns out for TSM, 2 of which are also AKs. Nice nade on Kinky as well towards mid. Tagged to 41 very early, but he did take Cypher back to 35. Well placed on the crosshair. Advantage. Still rests with TSM on the HP. It's 1 player tag versus 2 of them. Texty took a bit of an engagement out towards ramp, and that wallbang spray finds Modo there for Executor. Jax now sitting in his sandwich. I think Nota's trying to check it. He's trying to find an angle to play with. Now he's been seen, and Jax is going to drop 5 on 3 with Cypher still being in play at 35. Him, Inters, and Valde stand against the T side. 1 player's already broken away from the A defensive. I think they might be throwing in the towel on this one.
You're right. I think you are. I don't think saving's a bad call here at all. You already see Cypher's doubling away. Valve's going to stick around to try the heroics, and that's not bad for 1. Takes the tag, still alive. Bomb will go down. Double dips, looks for seconds, and this time, eyes bigger than her stomach. A little greedy, as he will fall. So safe call going to be made. RUSHB claw back another round in their favor. Of course, they get ever closer now to that finish line. This is why we didn't want to get too early in the talks of a comeback or the terms of a redemption from TSM, because at a 10-2 half, you have to pull off a miracle response coming in towards that second half. And unfortunately for TSM, that could be the straw that breaks the camel's back. Where we find ourselves right now with RUSHB so close to the finish line. TSM, not a lot of room for error. At the very least, though, they have money.
Yeah, and with these 2 weapons being held in as well, they can afford to buy the AWPs without much concern. They keep the AK in for Inters especially. Cash will flow in for the CT forces. Modo should buy the AWP. And also sustain an investment for the next round as well. I think they're expecting that maybe RUSHB might start to close in the pincers, at least on map point. And have that little bit extra in the back pockets to have that that little leg up. Makes a lot of sense, I think, in the long term of things. Of course, ideally they would just win this round and continue to bring back the deficit. Extended to 5, of course, on RUSHB's lead. And TSM again trying to prod aggressive, again trying to find early engagement. I think they heard Nota there. The M4 just watches and waits. It doesn't see anything yet. Just hearing things right now.
I think really to with at the moment. Trying to tap some Executor, doesn't find the kill. She meant for a grenade as well. Tag on himself and Texi. The smoke is going to find one. Good work. Kinky can off back on his own into the flames. Sticking around a little bit too long and it gets too hot for Kinky. Makes it look so easy. What is happening?
Modo, one pick back, at least makes it a single man advantage. With Kinky being as low as where he is, it's not impossible that they could find this retake. They just have to deal with one of these players and the whole thing may fall apart for RUSHB. No aggressive forcing against the AWPer. It's him and Jax's M4. The kit, of course, on the player in apps. The AWP swings around, footsteps being made. Modo trying to draw attention away from the app backstab. They haven't seen Kiro now. They have. Jax with the kill. 2 versus 2 now. Swing back on Kinky. Where is he? Smoke out towards the vent position to jail. An engagement in the AK. Modo misses his shot. Kinky allowed another good kill. And now Jax has no time and no more presence. And he is out of there for the 12th for map points on RUSHB.
Kinky falls to the bomb, but it's Kinky with 4 kills to his name who does everything in that round. And for RUSHB, map point coming through as well. That's to make matters worse. It is their opponent's map pick. That's the thing that is so kind of damning about this situation. A 12-6 scoreline. TSM's pick is never going to sit easy at all. This has been a really, really good run-in. RUSHB have always had every single answer. They've always had every bit of knowledge what TSM are trying to do. Cypher, all about for him. Not often we see Cypher AWPing. We're double upsets for TSM as well. It's pretty rare, but at this point, oh Jay, they've got nothing to lose, mate.
Just throw everything at the wall at this point. I think the term damning that you mentioned is definitely apt for this situation. TSM 6 to bring back into overtime and then to win it in overtime to take their map pick away. The Shadow Dixon and Cypher knows. Lovely stuff. Kiro first to fall. Is that TSM's survival locked in? Is this going to fall apart again for RUSHB, or will there be a couple of turnaround trades we've seen so far? The vertical flick from Cypher's AWP is unable to connect onto Kinky, so he's tagged up. Jax, however, does find Nota elsewhere.
Looking good. TSM not dead just yet. Definitely not dead. Inter's picking the time perfectly. Cypher picking off Texi again perfectly. And leaves Executor all alone. Safe to say, no chance in this round.
No way he wins a 1v5.
That'll be a story, though.
I mean, if it was one of the top fraggers, then and he was able to isolate an individual fight like back here, then perhaps. But for TSM, in case of dealing with them when appropriate, Jax does lose his life. But the tag damage that he's done leaves Executed with not much else left in it. Bomb fully in CT hands. 8 seconds left on the clock. Saving in the corner. Might see the hunt come through, and actually that could destroy the economy state of RUSHB, which at this point you're taking every advantage you can if you're TSM. Like you mentioned, nothing much more to lose, but they don't extend so far as to give the AK another chance. 1 out of 6 taken, 2 out of 3 tacticals scored in by RUSHB. That one AK has a couple of players that can buy around it to their credit.
Yeah, I don't think this is still kind of the worst situation at all. They could still use a bit of a buy here. I mean, they could even opt in towards a force buy if they really want to go into like to kind of those Galils and the Mac 10s if they wanted a little bit of util. It wouldn't be a pretty one. I like what they're going for here. Go in towards a slightly more half buy. Try and rely on what Executor can do with that kind of saved AK coming across and see if basically the pistols can overwhelm. This is a perfect opportunity with this sort of buy. This is, for well, lack of a better term, a RUSHB buy. If you've ever seen it, right? This is where you send it onto that B site, try and prioritize a bomb plant, and go from there. In the post-plant scenario, that's when you maybe have the best chance. And they actually are looking in that direction. So I'm going to come through over towards mid. I'm going to send Texi having a little prod in towards the apartment. AK, spotting one, swinging, but in the flames, down he falls.
Cypher becomes the Executor. Removes that rifle from play for now. We'll get right back in the hands of Nota. 1 or 2 players that bought the helmet in Kevlar. Only player, of course, that's at 100 HP with the helmet in Kevlar. TSM lock in that pick and just want to hold back on their positions, not getting too greedy. Not opting to force forward too far, especially as Volde just goes for the half shoulder bay, just trying to get the information out onto where the T's are holding from rather than going in for the pick. A minute to play with here for RUSHB, and I haven't really found a whole lot in terms of the kill counts. Cypher is very far away from refacing.
Yeah, this is a kind of a classic pass to parcel with that 1 AK. Kinky, third time's the charm on that jump. I'll spot nobody's there, so gonna look in towards window in a second. Goes to make noise. Should be a little bit of a known quantity. Time's ticking though, lads. Gotta make a decision now.
Yeah,
Just
can't have
over
all these
30
players.
seconds. My God, that is so risky.
They do press on regardless. Jax holding the bomb site. Kinky tagged very low. Jax, similar story to 2 points of HP. Enters, swings out, giving Nota a chance to break this open. 4-on-4. Cypher now isolated in the back of the site. Does get one more frag, but Texty can overwhelm, and I cannot believe they have just made it into the B play. Plant is being secure, but Modo has caught Kiro. Down and out now, a 3-on-2. Texty backed up a bench, hearing footsteps around that corner. The Orpa checking in with the pistol. The M4 found by Texty's headshot. Looked in with the next player. Bursting through. Jax low HP, dead to right. Modo with the AWP pick. Switching to the M4. 1-on-1 against Nota, the AK. Hearing footsteps, knows exactly where Modo is. Fake flash. M4 on the bomb, tapping it. Nota not going to peek. He's called his bluff. He has called his bluff, and it might be right to perfection. M4 on the angle. Nota gets caught off. Is there enough time with this defuse kit in play? I don't think there is. RUSHB have not secured Mirage. We play on.
My God, that is so close. Half a second less. The TSM closing out. Modo collects his trusty AWP as well. Really nice retake coming through, and TSM are going to call for a pause as well. This is a kind of a two-parter pause. It gives TSM a conversation to be had of, okay, that was a little bit close for comfort. We've got to make sure we make these lines a little bit more secure. They can't keep going down to the wire like that. But also, because it went down to the wire and because TSM were able to close it out, just make your opponents sit on it. Make it kind of ruin their mental state a little bit. I like this. At TSM, this is a really, really good time to call a pause. And when you look towards RUSHB, that one's going to hurt a little bit. Felt like they were in a good position. Felt like they had all kind of the culminations to close out the map once they got that fight on towards the site, once they got that bomb down as well, but not to be. Still a little bit of life left in TSM yet. 21st round underway. TSM, that gap is closed to 4. It's manageable, but there's no room for error. Has to be 4s from here on out, and that's just for OT.
Shots missing from Modo as they play quick as well into mid. Bomb's not with them. Volde has caught Kiro back ahead of that smoke, so that's a 4 versus 4, but Cypher is now being pressured from 2 different fronts. First, the apartments here. I think he's aware of Texty. The smoke will come down against him, and the second being that short presence. Inters has started to move into that position and will hold the angle, but the blind spray from Texty finds where Cypher is. The footstep giving away enough information for the through smoke kill, and an advantage sits with RUSHB.
Well, 4 versus 3 as it goes quiet. This leaves us questioning now what the call is. Once again, looking in that direction of B. There is 2 players here, and they're playing together through short. Kinky out through ladder. I think he spots the shadow. He does. Yeah. Always going to be a bit better of a known fight coming through. Flash goes so deep. Turn there, holds on the spray, and Kinky will fall.
And Texty, it's caught Inters in the back of the site, though, so advantage stays with RUSHB, and the bomb site has fallen for TSM. Jax held away by that Molotov, using the smoke to get now to cross into the market doorway. Nota watching for him. Shoulder bait is just about spotted the information. Nota gets back out to the bench control. Very tight angle to hold from here, but it might just work out for him if they extend out towards the back of the site itself. They're still walking, though. They're still prodding in from the back corner. 3 players well aware of what's going on here. They see that first individual burst through on Volde, damage to 45 HP. Jax on site. Volde still looking around for that van position. Texty sees exactly where his backup is. Burst fire gets his kill. Jax dealt with Volde alive for the ace in this round, but time ticking against him, and there it is. RUSHB can lock in Mirage. And a disappointing way to go out of your own map pick for TSM, as you mentioned, the 10-2 scoreline. Too much to come back from in the end.
Yeah, I think when it comes down to it, like you mentioned, that is such a big margin to try and close up. And I think RUSHB had all the answers on CT side. They did everything right. They had all these kind of set strategies that they had of how to shut down the aggression from TSM, and it worked. And when it comes down to it, TSM, they were so slow to even look like an opposition in this side. They were barely getting frags in those kind of first 5 rounds. It took a long time for them to heat up. Then we started to see Modo come online. We started to see Cypher enter the conversation. But by that point, it was too little too late. I think that was the story for TSM. We're hoping now, though, that now that they are a little bit warmed up, at least going on towards Ancient, they maybe can bring that kind of forward. But it's such a big ask.
I mean, especially when you consider that Ancient was already won by RUSHB during the advanced playoffs, right? You've got that history behind the Russian team. So in my eyes, the outlook does not look very good at all for the TSM squad. Their home field advantage removed from play. We move on to much more familiar territory with RUSHB looking as good as they are, as proficient as they are in that map up. Perhaps it might end up being another 2-0 for them to go to ECL. We're going to head towards a short break and bring you that map up. Ancient coming up when we return. There's going to have to be a serious turnaround now as we get into map 2 between TSM and RUSHB. TSM's chances of making it into ECL may ride on this one. RUSHB, however, are only a map away from qualifying for next season. Pistol round of Ancient is going live. TSM are on the CT side start, and Kiro is going to kick things off by drawing out first blood of that mid-face now. The slow creeps into that mid-control for now. Facing very little resistance on the TSM side. Kiro does get Cypher. That's now 2 men down, no trades. Moto doesn't get checked. There is 1 trade back to respond, but no one's on the A bomb site, and RUSHB are about to discover this.
Look at the space. They've got all the room to work with in the world. And as the bomb goes down, they can go for this, which is such an open plant, but safe from Donut. Donut's the only vulnerability about this plant. And now they've got so much room to work. Texi's going to heal with a step. But you're still full to Moto and the Julies. This is okay on the retake. They're going in quick as well.
Taps will continue with the Julies of themselves and Moto. Jack spreading out as well. Flanking from CT. Might become a concern as Intens does get that 1 frag and that second. Now it's all to Nota. Mentioned him, of course, the donut position. Taps on that bomb. 1 spacing from Jack's not aware of Moto's swing, but Jax can deal with him just as quickly. Onto the defuse with the kit there for Inters. The pistol will go the way of TSM.
Good. Needed. And I think for TSM as well, going in towards your opponent's map pick, if you don't start things off strong, you're in a very uncomfortable spot. It's probably the best way to put it. TSM, that is huge. But for RUSHB, bomb plant, that means buy all day. So the Glitter's going to come out, no problems. Executor, a little bit less money to speak of. Can go in towards a Glitter, but I question about Util. They are still going to go for that. So the half armor Glitter comes through. Util is very finite over towards RUSHB. It's the only thing that worries me here. You got 2 smokes, 2 HEs, and 1 flash to speak of. And I do question where these HEs are going to be used there. They're going to be used in a more tactical sense for breaking smokes, or it's going to be raw firepower, trying to clear out a couple of angles. At least for now, a much slower take here by RUSHB.
Still back of the elbow position. Smokes will come a little bit deeper into red. Again, mid-take for the RUSHB side, uncontested by TSM. A little more deeper into the bomb sites. That standard 2-1-2 setup. Jax, one of the 2 over on the A site, bursting through into the key entryways, doing a bit of damage onto Texty, but a lot more return towards him all the same. Moto left as the anchor player on the site itself.
For now, if Texy falling, it's changed things a little bit. RUSHB look a little confused about how they're going to play this. They don't really know where to go or what to do, at least in this specific moment. On the corner, Cypher, does he get cleared? It's a little bit of a known angle. He can clear it pretty safely. Cypher for 1 and only. Traded out immediately. Now they're going quick on towards that B side. Nice swing from Nota, nice find, and they're looking for more fights.
And Plant gets secured. Retake. Getting set up here by TSM. Flashes are sent. Executor moving in with the little face. Oh, he's found the backstab at the perfect timing. Moto caught off guard. Nota does get Volde in at the aggressive position. Now the player over at K reveals himself. The second man still closing in the pictures. Executed with that second kill. Volde turns into trouble of his own right. Now up for the triple in the one-on-one clutch with Kiro. Kiro's one getting tapped. The Galil tries to bait him to face. He's unsuccessful in winning his 3rd pick. It's a returning round from RUSHB in the 2nd.
Yeah, important. Really important. Again, I think for RUSHB, this puts them back in towards the driver's seat of this game, right? We look towards map number 1 at 10-2 It was unrecoverable by TSM. It was, you know, too little too late by the time we got to the halfway mark. The big thing is make sure that's not the case here, but it is definitely a worrying space, what we've already seen, where, generally speaking, TSM look a little rough around the edge, a little shaky, and also a little reliant on individuals stepping up. Speaking of, one of them's Aldo trying to go quick down towards elbow. Nothing gained.
Similar story for Cypher here at Cheetah, though. Smokes in, aggressed out to the entry. Did not face so far as to go ahead of that smoke and ahead into the lane position. Does find himself out in mid. It almost does in the end. Catch Hero doubling up onto Kinky. Turn 180 to Executor, who does find that responsive. But TSM, thanks to those efforts, have come out with the man advantage. Unfortunately, they don't get to keep it.
Once again goes quiet. 3 versus 3. 1 minute 10 to speak of. Noti's going to double away from double doors. Gonna reclaim space as he doubles back. He's gonna join them over towards A, and they'll realize pretty soon that, at least in the early part of the site, there's not a lot of competition here. The only thing that's actually in that close vicinity, unfortunately for TSM, is Inters and a P250. This is where things get a little dire. Even that rotation coming through from Modo, it's probably going to be too late. The second they drop a smoke, that'll be that.
There's a smoke in from Texty. That entrance Molotovs and a secondary smoke that to the CT entryway. Inters only player that can do much with this, but the third Molotov and the flash being sent, it's basically telegraphed. Valde will start his rotation. The bomb plant can't be denied. Would there be a retake into the CT side? Modo's made noise. Texty waiting for Inter swing. He'll bait and switch out with the scout player. He's also been spotted right there with Texty's burst through. Modo trying to get back to safer positions. Valde might look for the exits over at Donut. He went over at Red, will join his teammates. Both players have no choice but to save.
Unfortunately, I think it's the only thing that they can do here. Fundamentally, that will be that. Maybe a little bit of the way out. Valde will find one. He just take a ding though. Now actually has to hightail it. That bomb radius is pretty extensive. Another forward to fall here. I think he should be okay. RUSHB, put a second on the board. The important thing as well is when you look towards TSM for RUSHB, what they've done, the most important thing about what they've done is just break that economy. They've just left nothing really to work with over on that CT side in terms of an investment, and that's really going to help them a lot. It's going to give them a lot of room to work, a lot of space overall. And it's safe to say, Jay, it's probably quite worrying in the early set here. TSM don't have that kind of level of fear that we saw. Maybe the Taylor and the Mirage. They looked a lot more competitive when they went for the CT side. This CT side looks slow.
Definitely more echoes of the early game rather than the CT basis here for TSM. Again, 5-7 of Cypher trying to get involved in the opening pick, this time shut down by the MAC-10, so no such pressure being allowed. And a call back to how that first bat went down as well. I mean, the idea that you could lose out another significant scoreline advantage to RUSHB like they were down 10-2 in the second half of Mirage. They can't afford to let that happen again here. TSM won't expect them to make anything happen in this round again. It's just those eco pistols, the USPs, and the two players that remain with the pistols, alongside the two saved rifles from the previous. When the guns start getting bought up, you need to find some conversion here, especially on CT of Ancient.
Spot on. You really are. A Scout and a Galil. Going to try and do all that they can here. It's not an easy arse, though. Not at all. Smoke long side. Smoke short side. An MTB site. RUSHB do as the name entails. They head over that direction. Bomb will go down, and it will just be a full save. I don't think it's the worst situation. When you're kind of Inters and Jacks, you're pure cannon fodder in these rounds. It's a gamble. They gambled wrong. It's a 50-50, and hey, that's all you can do. 2-1 going to be soon made 3-1. But Texy could get some interesting exits here, or he could fluff that spray horribly. Jacks will punish him. That's a free AK.
It's positive considering what TSM brought into the round. One pick to remove from the RUSHB side. If they can get another one, if they can get a second AK in the hands of Jax, and that would be stretching it, but it could still be fantastic for them overall. They have caught Kinky tagged up and being down to 16 points of health. The Galil will be able to finish off the job against him. So nothing lost in that particular exchange. No second AK can get recovered by TSM. But the Wonders aid them in the rifle buy-up, which is inbound now. The fifth round will see the guns to come in from TSM. Do Valde and Modo upgrade?
That AK save is huge. I think that's a really big thing, a really big asset to kind of be bringing over and towards the next. It's going to help them a lot. The big thing I still question about when you look towards RUSHB, how are they going to keep things ticking over in their favor? They've been okay so far. One thing that really did help them at times is bring out the AWP. He's had AWPing, however, not easy. Executor is so blind, not a chance. At least Texy will trade. Mid control still remains with the T side.
Prods of Inters are going to try to look for that advantage back, though. Nade sent into the T basis. They do clear up the smoke. That Cypher will get shut down in. Cheetah cleared. Inters still hunting for his pick, and Nota is expecting him But where from? Actually holding himself back at the wood corner. Re-peek into his position that AK can get the headshot on the CT side. So 3 versus 3 once again. Modo turns that AWP back just as Texty receives into his position. AWP now, or Scout I should say, excuse me, on TSM. Holding his position over on the long control, expecting there to be a cave re-entry. But again, RUSHB start prodding into that open A bomb site where there's no one directly on it. With the tag up on Modo, reducing him to half HP. RUSHB should be allowed free reign.
Yeah, this should be around. No real questions asked there. Scout and an AUG. Unless Jackson pull up a masterclass, a miracle around, then maybe. There's one. Have a Molotov immediately. Kira playing behind it, very riskily as well. Now he's in that Scout territory. Oh, so lucky to still be alive.
1 point of health. AUG of Jax moving in, spotting his teammate. As Kiro moved, can they find any damage against him? They haven't got any damage utility. Oh, but Kiro! He caught them both with the same burst! Jax and Modo down. Instant reaction to that bomb plant position. And RUSHB just decimate TSM again.
4-1, and you know, once again, as we saw in the early part of Mirage, they're just gathering some control and pretty comfortably away here. TSM back down to a less than adequate buy. Got Inters on towards the M4. Valve's got one of his own, but in terms of support around it, it's not great. You've got an MP9, Eagle on the 5.7. Doesn't exactly fill you with all too much joy. Close it, 5.7 close range can be real. That was a really rough fight. Can be a little bit risky. And Valve's going to answer back on his own, so the low buy's doing okay.
Executor has caught us returning frag to that mid presence though. 1 man down with 3-on-3. Jax receiving Texty, hearing him just charging straight in to that main control. So there's another AK that they can recover here. That bomb's still out towards the B site though, and they're leaning in against the lesser bomb site. Inters, low HP in the back lines. Backup can rotate, but they might get the bomb down almost for free.
All goes a little bit quiet. There is a known quantity over towards that B site. Inters hearing at least the steps of Nota. You never smoke. Nota going to reclaim some of the space he stuck around for a second there over towards Rafters. He actually would have got a freebie. Would have caught that shelf player rotating in. Bomb does go down. Numbers don't favour TSM, but it feels like the situation does.
Deagle just tapping away in the back. Jax not being checked on, at least not all the way. Nota caught. Spray of Execute against that first pick. And now needs 2 more low HP on Inters. They could line up for him, but Inters gets the pick anyway. And Modo, of course, be the distracting element that wins out TSM a second round. Free AK for him and all. And there you go. 2 on the CT board.
I think in the very least, we've got this TSM side who have that confidence to even go for the retakes. When we looked at a lot of the portions of Mirage, it was all over the place. They really didn't look themselves. It didn't look like the side that had any sort of control in the game, any sort of kind of an option in some of these retakes. That is a lot better. Of course, they had the numbers to work with, but as a sort of a half buy round goes, pretty successful. Considering that was a 2 rifle, 1 MP9 and a couple of pistols buy, TSM have done really, really well. You can see that double AWP setup once again come through. This time Cypher's not wielding it though. Jax. Modo, short-lived. Other answer back. Can he make it 2? The answer, no.
Yeah, flash support there, Texty. Done it with the kill. M4 Cypher does find him, but Kiro is very fast to respond. Popped his head up above that window position. Advantage, trying to get brought back by Inters, but Kinky's ready for him, and just like that, Jax is all that remains in AWB. Very far away from that B-bomb site, so plant will be secured. Number 5 on the board for RUSHB. When TSM want to find their foundations of success, they just answered back to every single time.
For now, it all focuses on one small thing of, can Jax keep this AWP alive? This would be a silver lining. There is a sort of a buy to work with around it, technically speaking. Inters, he got a bit of money. Valda got decent money. And Modo can see he's getting a rifle, but it's just whether Jax can keep hold of this AWP. And now he's a known quantity. Nota peeks in. Dies. But actually, they're going to go for that safe exit. They are going to fall away over in the direction of the B side. Did they even attempt to go for a hunt? It looks like no. They've all made not the worst scenario, I guess, for TSM in terms of just keeping the AWP alive. The real worst case would have been if Jax was the fall. They can try and wheel something around it. Jax has already got armor, so he can technically buy an M4 here. Inters has got plenty of money. Valda's got plenty of money. And Modo and Cypher might be able to squeeze together a sort of a force around this AWP. I think the worst thing we do here is at least not half buy around the AWP. They've already won one half buy, so they've got confidence in that situation. If I'm TSM here, especially off the back of this sort of attack pause, that's what I'm looking to once again give it a go. We've got an AWP with armor. Why don't we try and do something around it? Maybe get a rifle or two. So we're sitting on 6k. Even if they were to go in towards kind of a rifle half armor, it's not actually the worst buy. They still have plenty of money for a buy in the following round. And that is what they're going to do. I think this is definitely the right call, in my opinion.
We've got that auto shotgun being tossed around. I'm not sure if it got sold back. I think it did. Cypher just rocking the SMG instead. Yeah, I know. Always gets me excited when I see a unique weapon and it just gets sold back to the rookie shop. I don't like that feature. One thing I've removed from CST. It's up to me. Quick in again from RUSHB in their defaults. Damage being done to those Molotov sprays of Cypher. Engaging against them, or at least trying to do so, as damage being done to multiple players, including Cypher himself, who charges around that corner, but Nota bails out Kiro, sprays through the smoke, trying to see if he can respond towards Valde, but Valde returns the favor. Executor also falls at elbow. An advantage gets taken by TSM. Kiro going to try and take it right back, but he falls next, and Texty is all that remains. 1 on 4 for him. I don't think it was heard there by Inters. Bomb on his back, trying to work into the B-bomb site.
For Texy, there's nothing really to work with here. And actually, for TSM, such an important round to be finding it, especially in this sort of fashion too. So far, relatively inexpensive, but going to have a massive knock-on effect going forward. Texy, 1v4. I don't really think he's got too much of a chance here. Maybe a consolation, which he does. Valda will fall. Molotov in towards cave. So actually, the bomb plan comes through here. Isn't the worst situation at all. You can maybe try and isolate a couple of fights. It's still not going to be easy, though. It's still a tough 1v3.
Yeah, TSM need to act as a unit. They'll have to hit that side at the same time. The AEWP's been baited. Texty leans back in with a blind spray and tries to catch Jax for it, continuing to face in. Modo on the bomb site is actually Inters, excuse me, that gets involved with that. And the M4 will secure the retake and the round. No clutch available for RUSHB on this day. The bomb plant bonus, as you mentioned there. Cash, not quite perfect for the T side. A tactical will get called into the side if they want to go for the heavy invest here for the next round.
Well, take a little bit of a breather here for RUSHB. You saw them in a similar situation in towards the early parts of Mirage. The only difference being is, well, from this, it was a 5-2 scoreline. There was a pause call by RUSHB. They went on to win the half 10-2. So, questions, of course, of maybe can they do it again? Can they push towards the likes of a 9-3? That's the best they could get here. RUSHB, this is their map pick. We've seen them put up some pretty good results on this map over the last kind of couple of weeks since they've come into kind of the conversation. They're a side who are, for the most part, a little bit of an unknown quantity. They're coming through advanced. They put up some good numbers there, and when they've had kind of these HLTV officials on the board, they've taken down some pretty big scalps. Endpoint being one of them. TSM already once. Only 2 losses in, I'm saying, about 10 games. Not a bad way to kickstart your HLTV career.
Look how far forward he's going to get ahead of this Molotov. So much confidence in the positions of the CT side being passive as Nota finds his engagement. Inters down, Cypher caught off by the Tech9 Kinky, and the fast play of RUSHB have indeed RUSHB and rushed TSM right into the save.
Has to be done. If the MAC-10s, they get active, the rifles have a lovely little double, and that's all the work that needed to be done. Just to crack open that B site. Lovely, lovely stuff. And I guess when you are TSM, it's not actually the worst call in the world. Keeping out of the AWP. Oda's only got 900. Jack's only got 100. Valda and Inter's technically rich, and they're less than 3k in the bank. So all things considered, money is a bit of a finite resource in the side of TSM. And I think for TSM, they just caught a little bit napping.
Yeah.
Been asleep at the wheel, and they just didn't really have any sort of response. The second they lose that ramp control, they know it's the right call just to give it up. There's no point sticking around. I guess what now? You got RUSHB at 6 rounds at the bare minimum, so the best TSM can do is a tie on your opponent's map pick, on what is the arguably the preferable half of Ancient, being one of the more CT-sided maps in the pool. I think safe to say, odds are starting to swing very heavily in favour of RUSHB. They're looking in a strong position. The map then wants to get active once again. There's a lovely opener. No care at all for He's a full blind, but he knows his angles.
It starts up certainly with the tees as you would expect. Executor's Glock gets Inters elsewhere. Force forward straight into that red position. Now there's a M4 that he can recover if he wants to. Again, caught flat-footed for TSM. Again, RUSHB have just rushed him down. Make a swift end to round 10. A swift advantage in the T-side half. The best the TSM can do is no longer the tie. No choice but to save these guns. And even Cypher might not get away with that. He's surrounded. There's no easy escape strategy. He's got to get Texty. He's got to fight through Kinky first and foremost. There's just no escape.
Ooh, ding coming through, but Kinky just crisper. Cypher gets deleted. And that'll be that. Once again, maybe the conversation's about, can they save everything here? Because Texy's looking around. He's got at least the right idea. Modo could be in a little bit of trouble. He's playing out through Temple. Does Texy clear it? Kind of dance between the two angles. Back turn. Modo will drop him. Thankfully, the AWP and the M4 stay alive. But it is going to be RUSHB confirming, guaranteeing a lead heading into the second half. And already, that is a massive positive. This is their map pick, a map on which they have looked confident on in the past. And, I mean, yeah, at the moment, TSM starting to let this one slip between the cracks quite rapidly. And this is where you do get pretty worried. If we go into kind of RUSHB getting, you know, minimum 8 rounds, I feel like there's no return for TSM.
Yeah, I'm with you there. It's already looking pretty dire. At least the theoretical scorelines could look good for TSM if they can make it back from here. 7-5 is very recoverable, but already first kill has gone the way of Modo, and RUSHB are opting to reboot their strategy of challenging the AWP. Volde has also been known about towards that mid position. Flight spray, flashbang against him. They counteract pretty perfectly. Swing out for the pistol over at Cheetah. Unable to get a kill against Executor. Finally, Volde does turn it into a 5-on-3 alongside Jack support against Kinky. Texty will also drop. And Kiro is left alone with 1 pick to his name, but the bomb well out in mid. And that AWP now in his hands to hold against the rest of the clutch.
1 versus 4. Pretty unlikely that anything happens, especially about the bomb. We have the bomb. We can maybe talk about a post plant and trying to isolate a couple of fights, make it a little bit more expensive. Money's still pretty rough around the edges for TSM. If you can make it, you know, a tough buy heading into that final round, you take a couple of positives. But yeah, it's probably not going to be anything too drastic here. Kiro, he's going to have a look in. They have a lot of money, so there's no point in him just going for a hard save here. You may as well try and find fights. It looks like that'll be the case. My God, what a shot towards Valden. Molotov towards Red Room. That'll be all he finds. So not the worst situation. 7-4. Final round of the half, and thankfully TSM do have money to work with in a buy, and of course not even just a buy, with an AWP in play. RUSHB, they can do the same, and they will do the same. Kiro's going to pick up the AWP. Haven't seen it too much on that T side, but when he gets going, Kiro can be pretty damn crisp.
Well, 3 still to the gun on RUSHB. Held by the team side for now. P90 on Executor. Look at this. Straight through against Jax. Turn back on Volde, who struggles with his own spray, but does connect those two together and hold the mid control. Shenanigans again with the fast plays, but this time not quite as successful. Modo against Texty will land straight to the headshot, and it looks like TSM will have 1 more in their back pocket. Notes are going down. Cypher cleaning up Kiro. It is a closing 5th to close the half for TSM, but still down against RUSHB. Has this T side been enough? We'll find out when we return. Well, not quite the same deficit as map number 1, but TSM still have to bring back against RUSHB, who are on the CT side. Hold the defensive, hold the line, and just look to close it down from here. TSM, we're going to try and take a playbook out of RUSHB, and, well, not quite RUSHB, but Rush A. Julie straight in, jacks the jumping headshot, but Texty is there with the quick trades back, so not quite a man advantage that lasts forever. He is going to get overwhelmed, though. Hinky in the backlines gets a headshot on towards one player, but no more than that. Inters responds, and the CTs are forced back. Plant will be secured.
It should be the round. 2 versus 3. All they have to do is stick together here on these fights. Executor finds nothing, and I think Nota, probably be more of the same. 1v3. This would be an incredible retake to be able to do it. In fact, he's got no kid as well. He hasn't got a lot of time to even find these fights. Met with a flash. I think it looks like he might just save.
Trying to see if he can find at least an exit. Doesn't mean much here in the pistol. He does go down to the Entomoto. But yeah, pistol gained by TSM. You're right. It is something, and it's a start for them.
Also, just something about kind of AWPers on pistols. They always just look so damn crisp. And yeah, nicely done. I think for TSM, super, super needed as well. This is a side who, of course, lost out their map pick. Pretty, it was pretty unconvincing from TSM. There really wasn't a lot to go off. Even kind of that post-map, we didn't really have a lot of positives to kind of, relay over towards that TSM side. This is already significantly better. They've kept competitive throughout this entire game so far. Once again, if you're looking for a quick way towards A, but there's a stack here.
Jack straight in, Texley there to deal with him. Kinky with a double up. Oh my god, what is this? What is this, RUSHB? Modo, in a matter of moments, left as the last player alive. They stacked the right bomb site. TSM, hook, line, and sinker. And this is the worst situation to lose. Harsh eco off the back of the pistol win. No time to build your economy game. About to lose all 5 of these rifles, 4 of which will be in the hands of CT players if Modo goes down without taking any more players with him. He's known now to the CT side. The footsteps being faced upon. The spray is so awkward. He's going to try and look for the wall bangs. He saw Kiro crossing, so he will kill him off. Kinky, next player that's low. The other 2 are also low. Modo's going to try his hand at this clutch. Ideally to grab that bomb at some stage. I don't think there's going to be enough time for the rotate towards the B site, though.
Time's ticking, though. 35 seconds. Not got a lot to work with. Bomb will be collected. Basically, trying to force trap all the way round. He lines him off. Oh, and Modo, what a clutch. 4 kills to his name. Just when you thought RUSHB about to close out a full eco, Modo takes matters into his own hands, and he barely takes any damage, too. What a clutch to come through. And TSM, if ever they needed a hero, Modo's just stepped up.
Significant. All 3 were tagged, so the foundations were there. For RUSHB, though, I think they can be happy with the fact that they got 4 kills with literally no investment. So, resets are still on for TSM. Scoreline has been equalized. Buyback will be receiving on the CT forces and SMG for Executor. 1 on Cypher the same. With the bursts in initially trying to force out angles against the CT side, get some information. Nota, of course, has pressed on towards the B ramp control, leaning into the doorway. I think the red smoke is about to clear for Executor's position. Can bring some rifles back into the mid control, and all 5 players are looking to try and play mid. This is a little bit curious. They do break 1 player back out towards the CT spawn and checking the A site, but they didn't make their way back into a much more standard setup.
Smoke. Goes deep. Got a lot of room to work with over towards the A site as well. And this time, RUSHB aren't playing anybody directly on it, but they're very quick on the rotate. And they've actually completely over-rotated. They have no one towards B. And thankfully, Nota doubles back, but the bomb's still in that direction. Inters has just held down over towards double doors the entire time. Hasn't moved an inch. It's all been part of a ruse.
40 seconds. The prods will come in, the smoke sent down towards that long side. One onto the K position as well for the CT forces, blocking them away from the play for TSM. They're going for a very last second rotate. They have got the A site at least, but this could be the chance where that SMG of Executor can strike. He'll swing. Will he grab the right player? He's caught them. He's caught Modo at least, and Jax has been overwhelmed. 10 seconds to get the bomb plant down. Into this such low HP, and Kinky just needs to just fire blind, catch him off, and RUSHB will get to number 8.
Important in these full gun rounds as well to put TSM in their place. And now we can look at a little bit more of a longer term kind of hypothesis, so to say. When we look back towards that full eco round, yes, TSM won it, but the amount of damage they've done towards their economy wasn't great. Traditionally, that round there is, for TSM, a bonus round, right? All the Galils and kind of the Mac 10s that they had from their first full buy after the pistol just get transferred across until they come against the first full buy of their opponents. Anything for TSM, because 4 out of 5 died, they had to go for essentially was a full investment. Losing that round has now broken their economy much quicker than usually would be the case. RUSHB, not only the advantage, such an important ace, a really good opportunity. 2-round buffer. They can make it a 9-7. They're going to be sitting so pretty.
Initial damage against the first player, a Cypher. RUSHB continue to spray onto those common wallbang positions, looking for the individuals. Executor jump facing as well in that mid control. He did well with the last round, seeing one individual, but nothing much really being gained in the information department. TSM start working their way into mid. Executor is still watching for them, seeing 2, taking 1, taking that second. Third player also being checked upon. And there's 2 left for TSM.
Hey, that one, mate. That's Jack's awful. Inters, he's all that's left. And safe to say, not expecting a lot. Tagged at range, dropped at range. Flawless round coming through for the likes of RUSHB, 9-7. And this next full buy is so important coming through for TSM. This is the sort of the kind of the type of full buy where if I'm TSM, I'm taking a pause. You know, go into attack pause, have a conversation. This is incredibly important. They're actually going to go towards a half buy. I thought they were going to force in, but no, not even. Maybe a slight overinvestment towards the round prior. So yeah, ZM only Tech 9s coming through. RUSHB, find a 9th, get a freebie. Double ecoing is a massive rarity in MR12. Just show a little bit of a poor economic understanding coming through from TSM. No bomb plant for them, meant no buy, meant no chance in this round, and another flawless one coming through. This one 10 times quicker. Double ecoing MR12, Jay, that is so rare.
Well, TSM can get the guns out now, and they've got a little bit of buffer room with RUSHB, but not by much anymore. This round loss will lead to the map and match point for the CT side. So a must-win run for the TSM camp. The AWP in on Modo, the AKs across the board. Limited utility sets might cause some issues in the late rounds. Look at the engagement straight up towards that main control for Texty. He did try to look onto Inters, and he didn't quite get much damage there. Has at least forced them away from the A main control, at least in this default. I imagine they might try to look to take it back though.
Quite long doubles away. Can see the traces there of Jax. But no one really taking anything in terms of substantial damage. Executor will be tagged up a little bit, but Jax completely scot-free. Too far. 3-round buffer they hold over TSM, 3 rounds away from the map in the series. And this buy means everything for TSM. If they don't find this one, I feel like they're in dire trouble. Not a spotted. A repeat from Texty, though. Poorly placed.
Advantage equalized 4-on-4. They keep them coming. Executor calling in for backup. That Molotov bouncing off geometry, causing more problems for TSM. And RUSHB will try and capitalize upon it, but unfortunately unable to find the picks in the open. Executor going down. Kinky closing into the back line, still hunting onto that donut position. He's unawares of the man that's out there in his exact positioning. The incendiary sent towards the back. Oh, actually, Moto is known. Burst through. Kill found. Valde still holds the closer corner. Kinky, will he check this? Yes, he will, but Valde lines up 2 more, and Kiro back at CT spawn cannot win a 1-on-3. Hold on to his rifle. Give number 8 over to TSM. Talking about RUSHB's buffer. They've got one of their own, right? So, at least they'll take some damage in. They can upgrade to an AWP as well. They've got plenty of cash to rebuy as well on the CT side.
Yeah, super necessary that TSM find that round. I feel like if they hadn't, they'd been in a whale of trouble. Thankfully, they're okay. So 8 to 10, 2 rounds behind. That's a reachable, achievable distance. The only kind of big issue, really, is all the money. RUSHB have plenty of it. Even if they were to lose this one, they can rebuy in towards the next. They've got a few rounds as kind of a spare, so all things considered, I don't think they're really feeling all too much pressure just yet. They're going to come deep in the red room, but actually, more than happy to relinquish all of this victory shot. That feels like quite a risk.
Executors right past 1. Jax is snuck right in behind him. Checking it, Executor does catch off 1 player. Valde gets tagged, but Jax can finally find an insertion point. A 5-on-3 gained by TSM. The AWP's ready for the shot as Kiro has all the info to play with. Shots on to connect the nades. Not quite as good for the man, though. Nota has seen 1 more out towards lane as they play quickly into that A-bomb site, rotating that bomb back out of position. The AWP stands at the back lines, gets the first, unawares of the player coming in. The nades towards that main control doesn't quite flick towards. Valde can be allowed the bomb plant. Nota can be allowed nothing more.
For Nota, just a safe call. You're going to fall back over towards B, and even then, that feels quite precarious. He's pretty scared about looking around in that direction, just in case there's somebody lurking. It should be okay, though. Keeping that AK alive will be fine. Like we said, they got plenty of money. They can buy back in. Kiro can very comfortably, easily drop over something. Executor can buy back in. Texi, same for him. So all things considered, it's not the worst situation at all. But TSM are now breathing down the next RUSHB, and only a 1-round difference will change things considerably. TSM starts to make a really good conversation to be had here. T side looking very nice indeed. Kiro going to go in towards the AWP. Can still drop over. Might do. He will do that, in fact. So the MP now going to go over towards Kinky. M4's in support around that saved AK. This is an okay buy. They've made something work here. But now for RUSHB, there's no more kind of room for error. Let this one slip, and not only did TSM tie up the game, but they can start to pull away because they break that CT side economy.
The last time out, TSM only took 9 rounds against RUSHB on this Ancient. Is it going to stop right here? Will the CT surge ahead? 1 pick found. Inter's caught off by Texty, working right in amongst the smoke. Just where the T-side players are playing from. Mollies will keep them from re-aggressing and finding another trade as Texty will just dive out of the way. Himself away from any further contact. Back up in that donut. Solo mid. Have Solo outside of A main, but 2 players trying to stack in. The 2 men to try and form a execution, a 3 versus 4 situation. RUSHB at the advantage.
Sneaking their way forward. TSM trying to just play contact here. Double stack going to take random control. But a double stack going through that cheater position. This now looks... It could be a little bit dicier than they thought. I think for TSM, they'll probably expect maybe some level of a gamble stack. The only area they don't know is Cave. That's the only control they don't really have any sort of info on. Jack surely got to clear it. Spotted the line up. Jack's a lucky man, still be alive.
I don't think he'll be for long, though. Valde gets spammed up as well. The SMG continues to engage it. 2 versus 4. 2-man advantage for RUSHB. Texty holding the AWP, knowing the engagement. Gets Jax. The AK can swing out to remove the last. And RUSHB Now up to 11. TSM's streak has been stopped dead in its tracks. The return and comeback not allowed at this juncture. And money looking rather rough for TSM. They have no choice but to buy. 2 more to go for RUSHB.
This feels like it's on its last legs, doesn't it? This kind of series in this position. We do see the buy come through, but it's now or never, right? All chips to the middle of the felt coming through for TSM. Let this one slip, and unfortunately, that will be that. We've got a triple AK setup. 1 Galil on a Tech 9. Don't find this. Don't find anything. Executor. Around the smokes, around the flash. We'll find one. Looking for another as well, but he'll fall to the hands of the Tech 9.
4 on 4 as a result of that. Quick plays in against Texty. Can they catch him off? He gets caught up on the walls, but does sneak his way ahead of that smoke. Valde did not swing out far enough in time. Form up towards that B defensive, which is where Cypher's walked out to. Swinging from Nota, unawares of it. Cypher gets a double, but Kinky on the site itself can find the first and the second. A 2v2 gain and turns right onto K, where Moto and Valde are inbound from. Backup is also rotating into position. Kinky, surely he doesn't last long here. A third pick would be a lucky break, and Valde says no. The AWP now to the retake.
It's tough. Retaking with an AWP is never a pretty sight. Second Kira gets smoked off here as well. Broken. Not cleared. Valde behind it. Keeps TSM alive. And at least for now, they can take a sigh of relief. But each and every round, they are fighting tooth and nail to find success. The only difference now being, RUSHB don't have a lot of money. RUSHB can't go for a full buy. They're going to have to half buy themselves. And this is where TSM can tie the game. This is where they can play all 24 rounds in regulation. Because there is a game on our hands here. TSM are looking like a much sharper side compared to what we saw on that Mirage. Like we saw, yeah, just a complete low buy coming through from RUSHB. Only 1 upgraded pistol as well. Only Kinky going in towards the 5-7. Bought a little bit of util. No avail. They've gamble stacked up towards A and nothing showing for them.
AK is engaging, extending upon by Texty. One of several USPs in play. A 5-7 for Kinky. Trying that stack tactic again, this time with a couple players out in mid. This time, TSM, however, are playing into the B bomb site. And the utility that should be a little bit more obvious as to what their intentions are. There's nothing much that can get gained by these pistol players. This should be an 11-all score. RUSHB.
That'll be that. Bomb goes down. I mean, I guess at the very least, they can maybe have a look in with the pistols, see if they can get any upgrades, get any guns going forward. Money's still not great for TSM, even though they've got a couple rounds in their favor. So any frikes that come through do have a little bit of a longer-term effect than they would hope. Sexy picks up the AK and are going to absolutely hightail it. There is a play here to try and maybe make Cypher feel a little uncomfortable. Galil. First 2, easily. Now Valde comes over for sport. Should be a problem. I think you're Texy sticking around for a fight. Feels risky. Not a bad shot, though. And a couple of smokes to stay alive.
Pretty nice that AK was extended out towards Spawn. That way, wanted to go the way of Nota. But can't have everything in the world. 1 AK would be more than enough for RUSHB. And honestly, those 2 picks, given where the money state is for TSM, actually are going to have some decent impacts, as you mentioned before, in terms of the long-term game. Now at no loss bonus for TSM, you are looking at a potential reset. And at this stage, with the scoreline being where it is for RUSHB, that would basically seal the deal on this one. So, do or die kind of round, swing round if you will. Team takes advantage, winning team may end up taking the whole damn thing. These flashes are sent over on the defaults. Again, TSM trying to prod out and catch the players off in the mid and the lane control. Nades up. Oh, Modo boosted up at the wrong moment.
Tagged but still alive. I guess with an AWP, it's probably the best case scenario in terms of if anyone was going to be tagged, me and him. Still the look. Good timing on the nade as well. Jack's going to eat a huge chunk there. 1 minute 10 and TSM are taking a lot of damage before even getting remotely close to a site.
Smokes being lined up. The AWP of Kiro. Flashbang against him. Jax jumps. And the AWP does not quite connect, of course. Valde sat and waiting. Texty hearing footsteps. Leg shot onto Kiro has done his damage. The CTs have inserted themselves into a flank angle. How long do they wait for this? Again, the molly to send wildly out of position. Texty, he's held his trigger discipline. This is perfect. Inters will drop footsteps are heard. Cypher has just been saved. Inters, a lifeline being brought back by TSM. The bomb should commit to the site, should get planted. RUSHB will now set up for the retake.
This now gets very dicey indeed. Executor is trying to spam on the corner. Man, anything, but nothing's offering up for him. Might be getting to a point of TSM locking in that 12th, and as Kinky can find a kill on towards Motor, that will change things, and he will.
4 on 4, and the CT start moving. M4 engages, sees one player with his back turned. Second and third also known about here to the T side line. Jax holds his nerves, flash around the corner. Valde with one, only one. Cypher with the AWP pick back to a 2-on-2, and time is ticking away on RUSHB. There is no smoke, there is no kit, and there is no time. TSM are going to get to map point on Ancient.
Huge. TSM staying alive, and the AWP doesn't. And again, adding insult to injury, putting salt in the wound, because look at the funds over towards RUSHB. TSM might have just squeezed in here. That all elusive 13th on the board, and of course pushing us towards a decider of nuke, something that really was on the docket, especially off the map number 1, that never really felt like it crossed our minds at all. And now it absolutely feels like a reality. 12-11. TSM going to call for attack pause. And look at the buy that we're going to get out of RUSHB. The AWP saved over and around it. An M4. FAMAS. Texie's got into a Mag 7. And Executor can only wield the MP9. It is an audacious buy, to say the least. And it's just scraping the barrel for RUSHB to try and squeeze together some funds to work with. Final round of regulation. 2 different paths we take. 13-11 and move towards map number 3 of Nuke. Or we commence in towards OT. 1:55 to decide what the result is.
AWP straight in of Modo. Sticks around in the flames to catch Kinky. Swing out from Jax. Also aggresses against the Executor. A 5-on-3 found TSM dismantling RUSHB. And turning around every advantage that they had gained at the start of this map, at the start of this series. Now they lean back into the B bomb site, which is completely open. No defensive, no resistance. RUSHB will have to go in for the retake.
It's off. 5 versus 3, and retake with an AWP is never an easy sign. What's the call here as well? As the smokes come through, that, as you mentioned, will more or less be the site once TSM decide to go for it.
Backstabs being lined up in mid. Texty being countered by Valde. M4 does not quite win the fight. Nota also getting tagged out, trying to spray from behind those smokes. The AWPer can't land his shot in the mid position. And now those backline smokes will start to clear up. One will come back towards K, blocking 2 away from the site itself. Cypher holds his nerve, gets his kill. Kiro, 1 on 5. Shots ringing out at the edge of that smoke. Trying to get Cypher. Swings back in. Catches a leg shot. One face back towards Jax. Jax will close it. And TSM will close out this map. 13-11. They take the opposer's map pick and they move us to map 3.
Yeah, fine margins. Really fine margins. But all that matters is TSM now pushed on towards Nuke. And this will once again open that door back up. Nuke is a map in which they have experience on TSM. It's a map in actually which they've looked relatively comfortable on at times against some, in my opinion, arguably more scary opponents than a RUSHB. This is a good opportunity for TSM to get ever closer. And basically what it means for us, Jay, is a best of 1 to decide who goes towards ECL. It couldn't really basically be any bigger stakes.
Indeed, and I am encouraged as well. You mentioned the results on Nuke of Preezy and looking for Org have fallen to this TSM squad in the past. So this is the part of the cornerstone I'm talking about them of turning a corner on their recent lack of performances. So as we head towards a break, it's their chance to turn this series around from the demise that started off on Mirage to hopefully the success of Nuke. We'll find out when we return. Well, TSM have pushed us all the way here, Neo, all the way to the third and final map. They did lose it to RUSHB in their last head-to-head, but can they turn around what was a disaster start on Mirage? We'll find out now as we set ourselves in with the pistol of Nuke. TSM on the CT side start. You must imagine that at this stage they need a good first half to keep things going, and Valde will start things off on the right foot.
Good. Arta back with a dink, but... well, gush, I guess you could say. And then it's going to be tested here. Bunny hop around the corner, just going to fall away. Right way to play it. Keep the numbers.
Keep rushing as well. Texty up towards heaven. He knows exactly where Modo is and just gets that headshot in the end of 4-on-4 as Inters realise that no one's coming downstairs. They are on their way, the move towards upper. And they hold their positions. The Julies inbound. They're trying to check out for the backstabs of Jax's. Julies gets caught off by Texty. Advantage maintained by RUSHB, and Valde being so low might turn even further presence towards their nature. Head's been seen. Kinky trying to tap the man off. It does spot him a second and third time, but those shots unable to connect in the end here. Very tight angles to hit. Bomber got to commit towards the heaven position. Meanwhile, Kiro trying to lead the charge into that particular force. Siphon down to 3 HP, so... well, HP bar's not really favouring TSM here.
Ooh. Nice shot from Kinky. Bomb goes down as well, and this feels like it's on the lock and key. I don't see a world they get back into. Cypher's so low, and Inters will have to pull off something miraculous. It feels like they're calling it. They might get across here. Cypher will fall away over towards spawn. He might just stay alive with the half armor and the Julies. He is so low. And well, for Inters, there just isn't really much point doing anything, really. A constellation kill doesn't make a grand difference. For RUSHB, it's a great start in towards map number 3.
Inters now just looking for the exit. Man's right around the corner. Does find Kinky in the end. You're right about start again for the RUSHB camp. It's their first pistol win since the first round of Mirage, interestingly enough.
Yeah.
So TSM losing out. Yeah, TSM losing out a bit of a crucial factor to their position, because the fact that they've won out on that Ancient with both pistols in the back of their minds. Is that an omen of things to come? Certainly for RUSHB, the bomb plant is an omen of the buyback. And of course, the SMGs out for TSM will be getting in with the investment themselves. The scouts in, the 3 MP9s and the FAMAS set for Inters. Prods initially for the outside control. Scout versus Jump Face.
I feel like right now, there's a lot to offer here for TSM. I feel like the force buy feels so risky too. I've never been a fan of kind of force buying in a second round when you've lost the pistol, if you're on the CT. On the T side, I can maybe justify it with Tech 9. CT side feels like it's just not there. MP9s, a scout and 1 FAMAS as a luxury in this round doesn't really fill you with too much joy. Tag gonna come through on towards that scout, and it will be a free cross. Those cross smokes that come over towards Secret give a lot of space to go down in that direction they want to, but it's all a ruse. They're not committing to it at all.
The diagonal smokes, they didn't really favour the position that Kinky was in, and by the time he gets to a better position, he's basically faded at this point. So split in towards the upper bomb site seems to be the call. Smokes deep, Jax turning away, expecting the flashbang to come out of the doorway. There is one, it's a little bit too late though. Jax with 1 decent frag, but no more than that. Cypher now on the back of the bomb site. His teammates closing in for the pincers into the back stab, but he doesn't hold on for very long. The HG on Modo, perfectly placed from Kiro, and finally Valde can strike. There's 2 other players that are also low on the T side line, so this MP9, this FAMAS, is not the most impossible situation in the world. They just have to find the right swings at the right time. There's the first 2v2.
Put now into 1 versus 2 as well, as Texi will find Valde. And Inters with it all to do in a FAMAS. Doesn't have a kit either, so not a lot of time to speak of. That bomb just ticked past that 20-second mark, so time's of the essence, he's going to call it. Knows he hasn't got a chance of pulling this one off, so going to fall away with his life intact. But it's RUSHB taking a 2-0 start, and now TSM having to go in towards this awkward kind of eco/force situation, depending on how they're feeling. This is why I don't like second round forcing when you're on the CT side. It puts your money into such a kind of unstable state, and this is exactly what we're going to find out at TSM. You know, you got Inters on towards a FAMAS. Do they go for a half buy or force buy around him, or do they play for a full eco and then have kind of like the orbs out going into round number 4? It's a weird scenario. It looks like they're going to go for a half buy. A shotgun picked up by Jax. I'm going to pistols can come through and all the rest if they want to, but all things considered, not a lot of expectation towards this round, so it should be a 3-0 start for RUSHB.
Look at that calculated risk versus reward for TSM. If they think that they can pull it off, and to their credit, they were, I think, within touching distance of taking that round back. Just a case of the engagements not being found in the right places at the right time. Let's see what they can find here. Mac 10's out against Volde. His Deagle does strike, so there's a little bit of success. The Nova as well into the lobby position. Kiro's going to get caught off, tagged up a little bit for it, and eventually taken down by Jax. Falls away towards the center of the bomb site. A 5-on-3 found by TSM.
Okay, all right. They're cooking. I can see what they're cooking. Sexy. Got to find a fight here. Spot the shoulder. Well, gained off the back of it. Note's going to find Valder on the flank. So now back into a 4 versus 3. This becomes considerably more doable just off the back of, well, firepower alone. To be completely blunt here. Down towards B, they'll look. There is bodies in this direction. One being the FAMAS as well, but one being that pistol, which gets deleted.
Yeah, Texty with the shot. Cypher down. Will they also look to check Dark? They'll check out the toxic position in the common positions outside of the doorways. Denter's able to get execution as a result of that, keeping the same position held. Low HP on Texty. Nota's also been tagged up here. Molly sent towards the dark position. Now Inter's going to get forced out, but Jax has rotated with support. His Nova gets another decent kill. A triple, in fact, for him in the round, and TSM are on the board.
Shotguns and CS2, man. Those guns are so damn strong. Nova, as a cheap little pickup, is not bad at all. The kill bonus is really pretty as well. So I guess that's the big thing. Even the likes of an XM, super strong gun. Very quick fire rate as well. Locus on towards RUSHB. Unfortunately, economy shattered for them. Just one AK to work with. And upgraded pistols, even they're a bit of a luxury. Double D Tech 9 on a P250 setup. Not great, but a great response from TSM. Massively important. Where the finances are both pretty unpickable both ways. Now TSM come out and charge. Valder going to dip down in towards Vent. Executor going to reclaim some of the space. He's been around the smoke here. Executors feels like a little bit of an unknown quantity.
Will Cypher was going to tag him through that smoke. He was firing onto it, but didn't quite get any engagements. Meanwhile, Nota towards the outside, going to let his AK do some talking onto the heaven control. Cypher has been caught by that Deagle. Modo and Jack trying to hold off to the crossfire, but caught reloading in the closed vent corner. No escape for the man. Valde drops towards Nota, and RUSHB have cracked open the defensive again. Inters has no choice but to hold back, hold fire, and save the M4 once again for TSM.
Gotta be said. Gotta be said that there really isn't too much of a conversation to be had here. At the moment, winning those sort of rounds should say it all. RUSHB coming in with one rifle, a few pistols. They never should be a conversation. Never should be a look-in. Credit to RUSHB, they just play well. They play the time, they wait for the opportunities, and, well, up they pop. Like you mentioned, Inters will save on towards that rifle. It's not exactly going to be a great thing being brought over. Valder's got money. There's no front about it. Jax has got money, may I say. So he can drop over to the likes of a Valder. Modo is kind of the same. He probably wants an orb. So I question what the buyer's going to look like. Jax can technically drop more than one. It just depends how they're going to do this in terms of firepower. Basically, they can squeeze together a buy here. It's not the end of the world. If Inter saving one over, it is a doable, a serviceable round for TSM, but it's not exactly going to be super pretty. I'm questioning what they're going to go for. Here's that all in play. They are going to go for attack pause to discuss. Just give it a little bit of length in the discussion. I think it's probably the right way to play it. You got Modo in towards the orb. I think that's definitely the right call. Jax was 7.2k to buy for himself, but then also needs to at least drop one. And it looks like Cypher's committed to playing with just that 5.7, may I say. So Jax will drop over. 2 rifles. Cypher's the only one that takes a hit in terms of the firepower. It's the 5.7 for him. And unfortunately, yet to get off the board in terms of the fragging department either. 0-3 right now. So hopefully we can get him warmed up and firing all cylinders.
And to his credit, his 5.7 play on Ancient was pretty proficient, and that cheater position especially. CT side defensive even at range into the mid control, held pretty strong. Let's see where exactly where he plays first and foremost, and second of all, how is he going to do with this weapon? Up towards heaven, it looks like, and up to the rafters under the central site defensive. Meanwhile, the outside control is where the challenge begins on the round. Valde catches the first. Modo's AWP can extend out with the red control. Shot on from Nota can take him right back as Jax blind sprays to do some damage. Not quite the kill being found there. It's a 4-on-3 for TSM, but look at the executor here. In towards the outside position, and downstairs, clearing out Secret. Now has an angle for RUSHB to play with.
Valdo got a gap to hold with over towards Red Crate, but Executors, he's the big one that can maybe level the playing field a little bit here. Left eye peek's not going to be easy. Valdo could get timing here. Executors playing around towards outside. He'll dip in towards Garage. And Note are going to try and reclaim some space as he cleared this ineffectively. Valdo will find one. Drop coming through. Executor spotted him, but he shouldn't have taken the shot there. Now he's giving away the ruse.
And that gives Valdo the chance to get back out towards Hell and keeping the harder cover. This time, not to re-aggress against the RUSHB camp. So, despite that powerful position from Executor, they're unable to do much with it here. RUSHB, remaining two players, reform and head towards the lower bomb site, where there is nobody in, and nobody in real rotation positions either. They've gone in to check the lobby crunch. So RUSHB should secure this bomb plant at least. The concern is more about the 4v2 retake.
For now, they move their way down RUSHB. Open an AK, not an easy thing to work with. Smoke going to come through as well. Flashing towards the corner, but it all comes out to Jax here. Surely can do enough to deny. Swing going to come through. Bomb will go down, and it's not a default plant coming through. So actually, this is about a post plant, and Kiro hits that shot.
Surely not. Blind sprays of Jax, desperate to get him. Executor's gone down. 11 HP on this AWP, unable to hold on to the rest of the collection. I mean, I'm kind of surprised they got even away with that one kill in that bomb plant. As you mentioned before, non-standard plant in the midst of the smoke. So, again, cash bonus there for RUSHB, but fortunately, TSM do deal with them at the man advantage. AK saved in as well, so some bonus firepower. Very well done from the rifle players there for TSM, particularly on that outside storm. As soon as they got the man advantage there, it felt like RUSHB could really do nothing with it. And now they call in a tactical. The money is not quite enough to get the defined buy. You see that from Nota's Galil. It won't be the ideal investment. Will they continue to commit to it?
Yeah, I feel like, at least now, for the RUSHB side, that bomb plant has, again, alleviated some of the pressure. I do question what the buy is. I mean, with Note already investing in, it makes me feel like they're committing to a full buy here. Makes me feel like that decision was made very early until the attack pause as well, that someone straight off the ripcord just full buy. So we got a double AK setup, double Galil, and then takes you to go down towards the Deagle. Honestly, I think this is still a pretty scary buy. RUSHB have converted these so often throughout the series. While TSM go one round behind, this RUSHB investment's not by any means bad. You get a little worried. TSM have looked a little flat against the slightly quicker plays that RUSHB can bring towards them, especially when a less supply like this. And quick towards our side, not bad at all. But what a shot from Modo.
What a start from him. Dropping one of those AKs, Nota picks it right back up, but Kinky gets Valde as he extends very far forward into that hell position. The AWP might have some issues if he gets caught off in the close quarters combat, so he dives down as Jax gets into the rafters, holds his position. We'll try to defend from a passive angle. It might allow a bit of an open angle to play with in terms of looking into the bomb site if RUSHB continue to commit up towards that heaven control. Two players out at lobby have just been missed by Modo.
4v4. So quiet, and actually the CT side that enters. He's coming for a fight here. He's going to get one in just a second. Down towards lower ramp. And he's going to tuck his head. Do they even clear him? So, properly. No, a double for Inter. That should be enough, surely.
Still got Cypher holding back a decon there to deny the bomb plant. Backup, of course, is on the way. Double doors have been opened up. Chance to swing, recognizing it's not a plant for him. The nade might do some damage to Executor, but Cypher's headshot just goes that little bit better. Texty 1-on-3. Slowly creeping in. Cypher aware of that position. AK still wins the fight for the CT side. A 2K for Cypher. 2 kills to get him on the board as well. And a third round for TSM.
Gotta be said, that's a really big couple of kills coming through from Cypher. Overall, you know, he's someone who's yet to really get into this game. He's someone to kind of step up in any sort of way. And, well, he picked his moment, and he picked it well, playing non-contact down towards B, waiting around single door. Really well done. I think Inter's getting 2 there as well as criminal. Never should happen. RUSHB, you've got to trade that every day of the week. The spacing was pretty good, but just the kind of the awareness, unfortunately, wasn't. A double kill is not bad. TSM tied this game up 3 rounds apiece. Look at the money as well, with RUSHB down towards a lower buy once again. TSM should gain a lead here. And of course, on CT side nuke, we would expect to lead at the bare minimum.
And Kinky's Deagle will respond to that opening frag. Look at Nota very quick making available outside AK. Burst doesn't land the shot. Valde continues to find the trades though. Nota keeps things at a man advantage. Will he continue to extend it? Tink down on Cypher. This is not looking good, but Inters comes in with support. Still RUSHB have a ton of info to play with, the HP advantage and the bomb that can commit very clearly into the ramp control. I think TSM might have heard it, and they believe it's a B play. In reality, it's back up the wraparound to the heaven control.
Smoke may come. Cypher low. Worrying what these pistols can do. They're going to go drop on towards the side. They're going to plant for heaven as well. And leave the Tech 9 up there. It's the right way to play it. Kiro doesn't need to face really at all. Texi can take a lot of these duels on his own if he wants. Where do they play this from? The big worry is about Cypher as well, of course. I mean, Ron could be everything, but Kira gets caught in transitions. He tries to collect an AK, and now it's all down to the Deagle.
1 player low. Inter's headshot might be required. A 3K for him if he can win out the engagement. Cypher making no qualms about his position. Forward facer. Deagle shot doesn't even find the body. And Cypher himself can win the fight, can win the lead for TSM.
That's big. I mean, granted, it wasn't pretty, wasn't clean by any motion. All that matters is that they get it. TSM going to put that semi-comfortable 4th round on the board. We are going to see a pause here. This one now in a bit more of a technical nature, unfortunately. Once again, we can take a moment to have a look at kind of how both sides sit. It still isn't too comfortable what we're seeing out, but all that really matters is that early in towards the map, TSM are looking like themselves, looking like more of a team. This is something that we've kind of struggled to see throughout the bulk of this kind of series so far. It took a long time for TSM to warm up in towards Ancient. They never really warmed up properly in towards Mirage. It was really, you know, tail end of that map where we saw glimpses of hope. It's good to see that early in towards a map here on Nuke, TSM are fighting the way we would expect out of them. And because TSM have had some pretty good T sides as well, especially that on towards Ancient. Maybe hope that the T side of Nuke, when they get over there, could be good as well. But RUSHB, I don't think there's anything to worry about just yet. Back into a buy. They can have an open play if they want as well. I know Kira's been fond of using it, so Kinky can drop one over. They can trade with the AK if they really want to. I think it's basically doable. It wouldn't be a bad pickup. Moto's been getting a little bit of free real estate.
TSM now certainly involved here. One of the very rare cases in this series where they have had the advantage over RUSHB. Even though things have looked a little bit rough in the early rounds, their fight back. Now try to see if they can take the half itself, which is something they also haven't done so far. CT side to take the lead and to run away with it would be the ideal situation for TSM, considering how much they fought from the back foot. Whether that's reality, though, is about to be discussed and proven. RUSHB, of course, with their rifle buy. Aid sent in against Nota first and foremost. The Molotov's also out there. Kinky with his AK set, looking above from the silo control. HE's down and Cypher. Smoke's also inbound. Executor will take a little bit of damage. Nota, of course, the early man that got tagged. Kinky aggressing in. Inters will not be allowed to support the outside position.
Valde. Catching Kinky, finding that opener. That's so important. Valde could get an opportunity for more as well. But that smoke. Actually drop from Cypher trade.
4 on 3 as a result of it. Into swinging in. Kiro has caught him up from the upper position. Again, that silo control. Aiding the T side line to a 3 versus 3. Now, It's a standoff. I think TSM are recognizing, or a recognition of the fact that the RUSHB side are playing towards outside so much. They'll clear out lobby, realize that nobody's here. And now it's a case of where do they go with this? Do they think it's a main play? Do they think it's lower? Lower certainly could be the case. The doors were popped open. Executor can get down there without giving any info away.
Alarmingly quiet right now, and there's 3 versus 3. 30 seconds. RUSHB don't have a hell of a lot of time to go for an execute as well. Executor is wrapping through, and he could catch one off guard here. He's looking towards hell. Modo. Yeah, just tunnel vision, and Executor checks it. And now they can look back towards A. Kiro dropping down towards main. They should be all right. One player through hot, one through single door, however.
Volley sent to the line-up, but Jack still only gets the one. The AK swings to Cypher. Where's the last player? Up on the rafters. And couldn't quite adjust to the man. Executor keeps it held together. And RUSHB can equalize against TSM again.
Yeah, nicely played. I think we've kind of, you know, around that 30-second mark to kind of work with. You ask questions about how or where we're going to go, and they don't have a lot of information in terms of where to clear or what's even been cleared so far. And I think for RUSHB, they play that perfectly. It's all off the back of Executor. Even if Executor was to fall there towards Modo, they might have actually still committed, put it the other way, gone down towards B and kind of challenged the AWP. Well played. Cypher playing anti there, no flashes coming through. What's the call, though?
I believe the call is that CS is just crashing our observer PC, so we won't get to know it just yet. An unfortunate situation. I was hoping that it wasn't the server going down. Unfortunately, that's not the case, so the players will continue playing on. We won't be able to see most of this round, but obviously a situation in which for TSM it is kind of a bit of a pivotal one, right? They just lost a pretty important one. Their economy state might be in a bit of an awkward stance if they continue to concede. And for RUSHB, obviously, to get back into the lead right here, this is, I think, again, just them trying to set up exactly what we saw at the first half of Mirage and Ancient.
Yeah, exactly that. I think, you know, at the moment we're in a position where we've got to ask a lot of questions about what RUSHB have got left in the locker. Have they got enough to kind of start pulling further and further away? I think when you're now sitting in the position that they're in, where for RUSHB there's the question marks about how stable this T-side is looking, especially compared to some of the other maps we've seen out of them. I think so far TSM don't have to be overly too worried. The only difference with this map maybe compared to the others is it's nuke. Nuke has traditionally always been the most CT-sided map in the pool by quite some margin. The only difference basically is when Ancient was first introduced, right? And that map was kind of broken. We'll admit it.
Just as broken as RUSHB in this round, it seems.
Yeah, who knows what's happened here, but what we can tell you is RUSHB aren't winning it. 15 seconds left and a 2 versus 5. That'll be all she wrote.
Based on the death markers, I'm going to assume that TSM played very fast outside in lobby crunch, because you can see where they've gone down on the upper portion of the map up. Yeah, RUSHB trying to rush and didn't quite work out well for them. Forced to a safe call for these AKs. And again, for TSM, that's a massive round. Keeping control on the CT side. They tend to do well on their CT sides as well. You talk about it being a traditionally CT-sided map, but TSM, their statistics definitely favor that. So now they broke in investment, but a force buy for RUSHB. They could break the backs of the economy again for TSM and try look to that 7-5, 8-4 half. That would really turn up the heat on this series. RUSHB gonna rush A, it seems. Quick out into the hot position ahead of the Molotov. Cypher can mow down 2 of them. Damage on Executor and Nota the same. They get back out, but they're running into another trap. Players push in. The AWP shot missing out. Kinky does check, but enters his AK a little bit too powerful for the headshot. Executor can respond. 3 on 2 for TSM. RUSHB are going down a B.
What now? What now? Executor and Nota. Well, not the easiest sort of situation. There's 2 versus 3 as well. The only saving grace is our low Cyphers. Got 2 kills to his name, so you can say job's done for him. Now it's Jackson Valder's turn to step up. A minute to work with. So RUSHB, well, ironically, you don't need to rush in this round. This is the kind of one where you want to play things considerably slower. And Executor's going to do exactly that. Looking down towards B, trying to play contact, and no one's offering anything right now.
And still got that decon player, Executor, wary of him. You don't have the information to him as of yet, though. Bomb should commit, should get planted. I think the CTs are starting to trot away information. The footsteps heard, the Molotov going down. They will open up Decon. Valde can mow down the first player. The AWP suppressed by timer, forced around the corner, unable to quick scope him. And indeed, it will be a 6th round for the TSM CT half. Cannot lose control from this position, at least for the next couple of rounds. RUSHB might have to eco it and go for the rifles in round 12.
Yeah, seriously well played from Valde there. Really, really well done. I think when it comes down to Valde, it's all about a patience play. And he's the epitome of it in that specific. Over towards Decon, waiting for any sort of noise cue. The second it's made as well, attention averted. The swing comes through, falls flat. The Hawk doesn't get the plant down, and it all falls apart for RUSHB. TSM going to lock into the bare minimum a tie heading in towards that second half. But with the buy so low for RUSHB, should guarantee a lead.
I think they're going to get more out of this. Notes is going to at least throw a spanner into the works in terms of this round. Kill on Valde, not expecting that top of mini position. Nades on, M4 in his hands. Texty and Nota both take HPs. Texty especially down to 18 points of health as Kinky gets caught off. The player with the M4, Nota, continues pressing on to this heaven control. He's hearing the footsteps right below him. Will he check it? Will he go towards the bomb site? Either way, he's in for a couple of picks apiece. Cypher caught first and foremost. Second man unknown. He still dives out of the way without a trade.
That's unfortunate. Jackson coming here. You're not expected, but I think he was low. The Deagle are good enough. Some motor onto us back with that 5-7. This is a really weird round. Does motor clear first left? The answer is no, so Kiro will find him. This is carnage. Now it is a 2 versus 2.
Yeah, that's the best way to describe it. Pure carnage in this round. Messy stuff, and it still could be RUSHB coming out on top with it. The HP is a bit of a concerning factor. Inters especially. 100 HP unscathed in this one. Jax has got the kit, so you might want to play a bit more careful to protect that going into the retake. The fuse needs to be secured. Kiro has been caught. Last man also known. The AWP in his hand, so focused on finding that AUG. Inters jumps around a corner, flick misses out. They can get right on that bomb onto the defuse. And it will be TSM with the half advantage at 7-4. Looking to go to number 8. That's the first half advantage they've had so far in this series.
Yeah, exactly that. This is really big for TSM. It's been some shaky halfway points in all the maps. Of course, Ancient wasn't looking exactly flourishing by any means. But thankfully, they were able to turn things around on that second half. So far, TSM in control. The bare minimum is going to be at that 2-round buffer zone, which means if they can continue their streak of a pistol round, maybe there's something to talk about. Miss smoke from Valde, Molotov, not our sport. And actually, Valde can use that miss smoke to his advantage. It looks like a bit of a one-way, which is once again met by a T-side smoke. Valde going to stick around. I like this position. It's probably one and done, but it's good for info.
With a walkout here for RUSHB. Kinky not being spotted. The swing comes forward towards Texty instead. And the advantage goes the way of the T side. The AWP motor towards outside though. He's let one player slip past him. He's got to focus on the rest of the outside control. Cypher and Jax have got in a lockdown perfection held to that defensive. Kinky is all that remains. He's got the AWP. He has seen where Jax is, but there's no need to fight or give away the fights here for TSM. Just hold the crossfires on the bomb site. Expect the man, deal with him as appropriate, and try and win that number 8 for the CT forces.
Should be easily said. You know, easily done, may I say. Not just said. And from behind, Inters will see it off. So an 8-4 half TSM, that is a massive statement to be taken at the halfway point. Can they continue it, though, after the break?
For the first time, TSM look like they're in a good spot, but can they turn that good spot into a series win and qualify for the ESL Challenger League in the next season? RUSHB down by 4 at 4 in the CT side, and they're going quick in as well to try and take the fight right back to TSM. Jax already the first port of call. Meanwhile, the teammates towards the outside will try and make their way in a secret, but Kinky and Executor have caught their kills. Ooh. Jax has been knifed, and TSM have been knocked down a peg, it seems. Valde next to fall, enters a 1-on-5.
Yeah, this one's asking a lot. Asking a hell of a lot. It's not impossible, it's just improbable. Highly, highly improbable. Inter's now a known quantity. Spotted, got to collect the bomb as well. He's got absolutely no chance. In a weird way, it feels kind of pointless him playing this game with them. They've got the bomb, they're going to stick around it, but I guess for instance, if he can find a couple of constellation kills, it will actually put a little bit of pressure on that CT side in terms of a buy. After, you know, maybe reinvest a bit of armor, all the likes of a kit and the rest. But fundamentally, RUSHB finding a super important start towards their CT side. It's not been great. 8-4 is not exactly what you'd hope out of a T side. And Inters, yeah, now they know he's towards outside. They can all just focus their attention. You can see there those icons just honing over towards the blue crates. He's got no chance here.
Yeah, just a quick adjustment to the CT side. Does at least force out some HP against Kinky, but still no kills being found. Headshots still not being taken down. Kiro has caught Texty for a goose down to 14 points of health. And Kiro doesn't quite find his extension to success. He drops in against Inters. Inters does get that one frag. And the P250 now needs to just go down, and they recognize 6 seconds. Time is against Inters here. Nota around the corner, does get checked, but Inters does fall before the timer hits 0, so money can flow into the bank accounts of TSM. The pistol, as you mentioned before, going the way of RUSHB.
So, super important, super needed for RUSHB as well. I think they were in a position where things weren't looking all too comfortable for them at the tail end of that T-side half, and now heading into the much more comfortable CT, they've started it well, effectively, just how you'd want if you're RUSHB trying to make some sort of response. To TSM, no bomb plant, no kills. There really isn't any conversation to be had about a buy at all. So the full eco here, they're going to buy in towards the next, and it'll be fine. This will mean that RUSHB can close that gap quite considerably. 8-6 should be the scoreline. I don't really see these Glocks causing too much. Okay.
Well,
constellation kill's not bad, though.
Yeah. Cypher finding Kiro. Damage being under Kinky as well, so he's not impossible to find either. Case of likelihood, though, like you said in that last round. They'll group up together, which might be their best chance. In the early economy states, pressure would be lovely with some of these kills. If they can get the guns back, that'll be even better, but at range, it won't be as easy. Dexy might give up one. Lamas has seen one player at a crack angle. Cypher does get mowed down alongside Valde first and foremost. 3 kills for Dexty Nota with the last one. Number 6 locked in for the CT side as the gun round comes in for TSM. Their next chance to get started.
Yeah, that's it. Needs to as well. This T-side has to start, straight out of the gates into the full buys. If it doesn't, that's when we get a little worried. A little bit in the position of being concerned, let's say. If RUSHB find this round here and what is traditionally kind of seen as a bonus buy, while that one investment back in with the M4 and the tech seat. This is a buy in which there's kind of leaving primarily enough money in those back pockets to reinvest in towards the next for the most part. Cypher just flying towards outside. Just take a little bit of a tag, but he gets all of the space. He's down to his secret in a very quick manner, but Jax will be the first to fall.
Valde did crate very quickly, though. Kinky down. I don't know if you heard those footsteps on Cypher. Those CTs are adjusting downstairs as of yet. Teams will start crossing as well to try and join him in a secret control. Bomb on its way. And yeah, there really is very little rotation room, I think, from the CT side. The player at ramp especially is posted up, so wary of a face in from the trophy room. So I think this should be a bomb plant at least. Inters. Oh, he gets checked by Executor. Executor finds the man advantage.
Massively important. The latest spray from Cypher there. Molotov will meet at the toes. One will go down at the very least. RUSHB looked like they're in a decent position for a retake here. They're quite around that corner. And Texi will find one, keeps numbers in their favor. Valda's got to line up a couple. He's got to make this super clean, and there's one.
Floats up, round the corner, gets sprayed upon as well. Valde's made a hero play. An Executor doesn't know what to do. 1-on-2, no kit with him. Smoke, or flash rather, sent towards his direction. Moto, a known entity. Of course, Valde's still going to be playing the long-range game, and neither player is going to peek it. TSM had to battle for that one, but it does go their way. A 9th on their board. RUSHB now left with nothing to speak of except a saved M4 in this round. Hell of a way to get started there for TSM. How pacey was that round?
I mean, Cypher just, you know, throwback to the ITB days at the Paris Major, just absolutely flying down towards Secret. No holds barred, no reserves left over for him. No kind of care for his life at all. It's exactly kind of what you want to see out of TSM. They've got to try and bring pace to try and, you know, break down this RUSHB team. Thankfully, I guess, for RUSHB, they can go back into a buy. Like we said, that was what we traditionally chalk up to being a bonus. I mean, problem is, RUSHB are to lose this financially. They're going to be in a little bit of trouble. And honestly, the same for TSM. So round number 16 starts to go under the, I guess, the title head of a bit of a swing round. Win this, and you can really take a lot of bonus in terms of the momentum, the economy, the strength overall as well to start the half. It's a very important round here. Especially for TSM, who stand to gain quite a lot out of this. RUSHB don't have a lot of loss bonus, so a victory here would send them up to 11 at least, and that would really apply the pressure to RUSHB. Molly sent T-side players walking towards the outside, Cypher and Moto. Jax as well. Kiro with the scout set in, Executor behind the smokes. T-side players will continue playing towards the outer yard. Kiro just holding his nerve. The presence of TSM, well known to RUSHB. Yeah, no. Making their way, tag them through the scout as well. They're going to come over. They'll do a chunk of damage towards a couple. Both Kira. Node's taking a lot there. Still feels real dicey. Node clears Jack. It's a scrappy fight, but he wins nonetheless. Inters, meanwhile, out towards the ramp control. Gets that one frag, but Texty takes it right back, and Valde is all that remains. RUSHB in a very awkward spot on the outside position, but still come out with a 4v1 that Valde now cannot really play with. Hold on to his weapon in the cubby corner. A 7th will go the way of the CT side. You mentioned the swing potential for RUSHB because this will continue to close the gap between them and TSM's lead. That was the key chance for TSM to just shut it down and call it a night, but we play on. 9-7. This game has got a little bit of life left in it. For TSM to find that one there probably would have locked them into a very comfortable position. I think it would probably would have been even towards us putting the conversations up about them being on the kind of the tail end of this map, the series closing out, booking that ECL spot and all the rest. No, not so much. Scout and AK is what they've got to work with. One upgraded pistol, well, one premium pistol with the Deagle Instant, got a PT50. Not expecting a whole lot there. Jax is taking a pop shot. He's met for HE. This fundamentally should be a pretty clean round for RUSHB. I'm not expecting any sort of fireworks from TSM.
To see whether Valde can find anything with his AK. The only thing you're really looking at here for TSM, RUSHB should be able to light up their 8th round. TSM, of course, will have potential in the buy in the next round. All about the damage here for the Seaside line. And so far, very little has gone their way. It should take B against Valde. A little bit on Jax. Jax does go down to the first casualty. Kinky kicks things off.
Ooh. All right, Cypher. Nice shot. We'll at least do something. 4v4. I mean, time's ticking though. With 40 seconds, it feels like TSM are leaving this very late.
And Tripod in, making some noise outside. A mini player to peek in from Kiro, trying for the wallbang spray. popped out of heaven and got the info that he required. Now the T's walk in. Volde, AK first up, mowed down. Cypher does get one more pick out of the round, but 5 HP for him. Does have the bomb on his back, does have the AK with him as well. Trying to secure that bomb plant, but the CTs have rotated very quickly to position. 10 seconds, they open the double door. Nota closes down the round, and 8th on the board of RUSHB. Good effort from the last man. Decent chance from TSM. But ultimately, it is all up to the Rifles now to try and defend their lead.
9-8, of course, there's an absolute conversation to be had right now. This game definitely got some legs behind it. RUSHB, run of form is looking very positive for them. TSM, they've still got that lead, but only by 1 now. RUSHB are hot on their tails, breathing down their necks. It does not feel great. Valor only into the Deagle as well. And exactly, bringing with joy once again. Especially considering it's an all on the other side. Kinky playing towards our side. Drop a smoke to just about avoids the flames. Towards Red Crate, that position is so strong.
M4's lean in, swing around the corner. Flashbang catches that player for blinded as Nota will get Cypher. Advantage for the CT side once again. TSM backed up, holding their nerve inside of the lobby control. The bomb still with them at least, but no advantages over RUSHB here. It seems to be a play towards upper for now, as they break away and go towards the outside.
And now, on that corner, just spamming away. TSM trying to isolate fights here. Nothing's offering up. No to the second he spots basically anything that Molotov can just fly down. Towards A though, in they come. Molotov over towards Oven, and this should stop the swing as well. They went for a single door play. Swing to move. Pinky's full blind. He falls, and Jackson can find one of pitches.
Kiro and Executor with a couple of picks back of their own right. The AK on the other side. Executor's USP can find Volde next, and it's a 1-on-3 for Jax. The bomb is not with him. And Executor, he knows he's going for sprays. He's going for the wall bangs through the vent. And Jax just has no angle of attack, no way to flank. AK stays here in the vent to hold for a player to get aggressive, to hope for a lucky exit, but ultimately will not receive any such margins. A 9th on the board of RUSHB as they take control of an even standing TSM. May now be in trouble, and they recognize it.
Yeah, this is a very, very worrying spot for TSM. They're not looking comfy. They're not looking in control of this game. It just make matters worse as well. They can't even really suffice maybe a buy, right? You got Jackson towards an AK, and then trying to invest around it feels basically like an impossibility. You've got Cypher going in towards a Deagle half armor. It's not the worst play. It leaves them with enough money to buy going forward, but they can't really afford to go that much lower than that. I think as well, when you look at Modo, he's also got to consider, does he want an AWP out in towards the next round? If he does, then basically can't buy at all. It's a really, really harrowing situation where you've got RUSHB, what essentially feels like a freebie of a 10th round on the corner. And we are going to see, unfortunately, just before we go in towards this next round, off the back of attack pause, straight into attack pause. So I guess a little bit more time to have a conversation if you're not sorting out any sort of technical issues. But yeah, again, you got to look at how things have kind of panned out for RUSHB. Not a great first half. You know, 8-4 is where they stood. This is the turn of the half. All the rounds bar one have gone the way of RUSHB. TSM had a brief moment, but it was just a mere hiccup. For RUSHB, they are in control of the complete tempo of this second half right now.
Getting a bit of a taste of TSM's medicine from the last map. They similarly didn't have the best of starts, but they resurged on the tail end of that map to take us to this third. Maybe RUSHB will do the exact same thing on CT side to take over the series outright. TSM have that AK from the previous round, buying upgrades around it, a half invest around it. It's not fully committing. They have a little bit of time to work with, but they really need to get focused up on securing the very tail end of this matchup. This is their chance to qualify. RUSHB be in ECL if they take this nuke. Similar story for TSM. They know that's what's at stake. They're going much more careful this time. Smokes diagonals towards the outside. They group up and start playing there.
Yeah, it's definitely the right way to go about this. TSM, who've not got a lot to bring to the table. This pack mentality is basically the only way you can play it. Can't afford to do anything else. Spoke towards single door. Takes going to play out towards heaven, so you can catch some cross towards secret, even if they head in that direction. Yeah, nothing really offering just, waiting for an opportunity. Spots one, it's an AK as well. So maybe your fight he doesn't want to take, because Jax can do that.
That is sick. Texty might looking a little bit more worse for wear after that one. 38 seconds for TSM now to play with this man advantage and take control of the round. Look at Kinky. He's making plays to try to take it right back out of the fold. He thinks they might have all crossed out. Catching volley with that M4. The two players out of red, unable to swing the catch. The trace, the AWP meanwhile of Kiro. Deagle out, faced in by two individuals. They're going towards that P-bomb site. With the Deagle and the AWP combined to get them both. Bomb dropped. Time run out on TSM. Cypher just looking to go down for the money bonus. And the CTs are hidden from him. They'll face him. They'll try to take him down after the fact. He'll drop anyway. And RUSHB have the lead.
Really, really scrappy kind of Counter-Strike coming through. But again, all that really matters is that RUSHB take that lead in their favor. I don't think they really care by what margin or how it's found in any sort of way. 10-9 scoreline. But of course, it has to be said on the other side. That was a low buy. That was nothing we were kind of expecting basically at all. So yeah, not really we weren't not disappointed that TSM aren't walking away with that round. There's one AK to work with. Jackson had a decent little run out early. But aside from that, not bring too much. Early damage comes through. O'Falder and Nota taking a bit of a tag, but nothing too drastic.
Flashbang into Nota's position. He does make his way away. I was all to support the vent dive from Cypher, though. We've seen how well we can do down the corridors, and you're finally opening frag for it. Baited Nota in. Look at how far Kinky's made his way up, but he got so much damage for it. But Modo finds the secondary pick, a 5-on-3 for TSM.
Nate to break that smoke. Trees behind it. Well played. Pretty simple second attempt, not as good. Trying to pop a shot with the Deagle, not good enough. The Molly might be a little too late as well. Just about gets down in time, so it's more information gathering than anything. Execute, tunnel vision gets punished.
All important shot for Modo. Cypher's still trying to cut those rotates, but it's all about that player coming in from ramp. Texty in the rafters. Footsteps does see the doors open up, but Folde does not drop for it. Instead, Texty drops into the site and Cypher drops in for good. Plant secured. 1v4 for Kiro on the retake. It's not going to happen. He's got to save.
Got to be done. TSM answer back. A little bit more pace going towards that side. Great in terms of that early space that they created. They just manipulated so well. They forced RUSHB into really awkward fights. Fights that essentially they don't want to be taking. And that's when they can start to isolate them. They just pull them out of their system. TSM, that's really well played. That mid-rounding gave them a lot of room to work with. And it's put them now back into a pretty comfortable position. I worry about Modo saving, just because the bomb radius is pretty extensive. Kiro holding. He's holding for a swing around that ramp. I don't know if he expected that at all. Everyone survives. They don't actually really need to fight the AWP here. They can let him stay alive. Not a priority. Priority is just keeping themselves alive, those three. 10 apiece. This game still got something. I mean, a 13-11 map number 2, and this one going the distance here as well.
Even standing again. RUSHB now whittled down on cash. Not a lot of loss bonus available to them. TSM, this is their chance to find the swing round success. That success, again, should turn into a map point. Again, the break smoke for the AWP. Kiro catches Cypher, barely spotting the man, but connecting the kill regardless. Jax taking point on the T side, walk up on the outside control. He will have dominion over Garage. There's no one there to find the frag.
Kiro gonna post up towards our side, but Jack's gonna punish that on Nota. Jack's got a lot of space here. This is really good. That room he's worked with over towards Garage now leaves RUSHB very confused about how they respond to him. They basically have to tunnel vision in. They can't allow him to wrap in behind. Distract them for a while. Pop shot with the AWP. Unsuccessful. Second time of asking. Jax again punishes. This is great.
Another player up in heaven, I think. XD, not sure where to look. Does look up at the right moment. Volder gets caught. Executor finds Intis. Jax can't follow suit with a triple and will not be able to get the second chance. Modo 1-on-2 actually. The HE from Executor is caught. His teammate and Modo's wallbang damn near landed. The bomb is with the CT side. 30 seconds for the AWPer to try and strike back. They're jump facing, looking for info. I think he's out of there. He's going for the save call. TSM. When they had such a good return at the start, when Jax had found so much breathing room towards outside, things fell apart so quickly, and RUSHB are back in control.
Yeah, it's a really, really rough one to kind of lose in that sense. It's not put them in a nice spot at all. You know, you're going back towards what is going to be an awkward buy, to the least. You know, you've got Inter sitting on 2.9k. You've got the rest of the team sitting, you know, semi-pretty, but Modo not enough to really do any sort of substantial drops. So essentially Inters has got to try and wield with, I don't know, maybe a Tech 9 if he wants util, or a Mac 10 if he wants anything. He could go in towards the Glil, but the only problem with the Glil, it leaves him with no util, and as a bit of a kind of an anchor player, it's not exactly what you want when he's coming out of that kind of T-side pack positions. Yeah, he can opt for the util. Inters, as that kind of anchor support, he has to bring util to his fights. The Tech 9, all he can wield, has to try and get the rifles active. Oh, the flops his lines.
Executor does take a body block of that Molotov. Should be aware that the player going downstairs into the vent dive, and Kinky has been communicated as such. Kill found on Cypher. Now down to 3 players on TSM. RUSHB to lock this round in, to lock in match point and qualification point in the relegations. This may well be lights out for TSM, at least in the upper bracket. They'll have their lower bracket lifeline. But for RUSHB, this could well be everything to them. The AWP shot of Modo taking fire back. Jax can at least force out one angle towards outside, but Kinky takes that amount of advantage right back to the favor of the CT side.
Inter's going to scoop up the AWP. It's not exactly going to be easy here. Opting for the Tech 9 at close range. Jax is making a conversation, though. Hang on a moment. 2 versus 3. It's not impossible. It's just a question of does he even clear ult then?
Smoke in. He does, but he doesn't quite get the kill. The Tech 9 pulled out, can win the first against Executor, but the other 2 players are quickly in from his back line. He has no idea about it. Needs the perfect headshots. Needs to look the right way at the right time. He doesn't do either of those things. And Kinky can close with a triple. 12-10. Series points for RUSHB. TSM have a buyback. Getting everything else that they can into this one. 2 to overtime.
Anything they can bring to the table, they will. I mean, thankfully, everybody can get in towards the AKs. That's kind of the bare minimum. That's at least a kind of saving grace. But if they want util, that's what the likes of Valor have to drop it towards the Galil. I think it's quite understandable here. I'm assuming Jax goes back in towards the AK. He's actually looked very, very crisp. And Cypher's form is absolutely picked up as well. Bearing in mind he was, you know, 0-3, what, 6 rounds in towards the game, and then he started to pick it up. It took a while to get going, but Cypher's looked very crisp now when he's had those opportunities. And they're basically relying on the likes of a Cypher, the likes of a Jax to try and alleviate some of the pressure here. And Valor's had a lot of key, important moments too. For TSM, there's no room for error anymore. Map and series and ECL point here for RUSHB. And TSM, they need 2 rounds. That's just to take us towards OT.
RUSHB have their sights set on the Challenger League. Quickly in from this T-side presence, it's Kinky with the opener. Cypher goes dropping. Jax watching Nota, checking all positions. The main control of Executor goes down towards Modo's hands. 4 versus 4 as they try and get the trades going. Modo with a double up on Nota in the back. Texley did find one trade that HE sent towards a couple of individuals. Will chip away at the HP bars, but the bomb will be planted. It will be a retake for the CT side.
Oh, he spotted his leg. He knows Jax is there. That's the problem. The angle's pretty good, but your leg is very vulnerable. He may as well just spam it, but I guess he doesn't know that it is Jax or how low he is. Coming through, gonna see him off. Easy numbers go back in favor.
Oh.
Hero gonna do it as well. Last man spotted. This should be done. And a nade to see it off. Insult to injury. But a 13-10 map and series goes the way of RUSHB. They will be present in next season's ECL. And unfortunately for TSM, down to the lower bracket for them. But it's not game over just yet, is it, Jay?
Yeah, no, they have that second lifeline. They have that chance to make I think they go straight into the qualification game in the lower bracket. I'm not sure who their opponent is going to end up being. I don't think that match has been decided yet. But you are right. Like, TSM have a second chance. For RUSHB, it's a hell of a day for them because, as you mentioned, they've made a hell of a run. They went through the lower bracket of the advanced playoffs. You mentioned some of the names earlier on that they've been taking down. TSM now on that tally. RUSHB, probably not the team we expected to be even in this qualification game for that matter. But I think ICLA was the team they beat in the first round. So we would have seen a TSM ICLA matchup, which I think was the more expected situation. But for RUSHB, man, it's a run. They are now in ECL, and I think they'll be very happy with themselves today.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, when you're one of the kind of more mixed teams who come in towards these sort of qualifications, you get towards advanced. Advanced is one of those things you can technically get through winning out open, right? So you can go direct qualification all the way to advanced. If you're a mix getting to that point, it is kind of about for vibes, right? It's how far can we get? Can we make a push in towards playoffs? That'd be sick. We can say we're an advanced playoffs team. That is a massive kind of thing to have of note, right? But anything further than that feels like a big ask. But for a mix to now get towards ECL, it's pretty rare. We haven't seen all too many of them, and there's some pretty big names that are going to be coming up again. So in terms of prac and scrims and even officials, the caliber stepped up massively. Even if they don't do that well, just the company they're surrounded with in ECL should elevate their level quite considerably.
Yeah, and I think they've done enough to sort of prove themselves in that particular position. So they'll be moving forward alongside Bait, who also beat out 9 Pandas in our other qualifying match. Actually, I've just taken a look at the bracket as well, and they are TSM will be taking on Orcs in the lower bracket matchup as 9 Pandas take on ICLA, who beat out Pompa a little bit earlier on this evening. So that's our state for tomorrow's proceedings. The 2 best of 3s that will decide the last 2 spots in next season's ECL. And those matches, I think, could be rather interesting, particularly 9 Pandas ICLA. I've got my eyes on that one.
Yeah, it's a bit of a spicy one. There's 2 massive teams in that lower bracket. I mean, 9 Pandas winning at the Paradin Avalanche not even that long ago, kind of, seized us back, baby. You love to see it. And then ICLA, who've gone through a variety of changes and brought together actually was a really cool mixed team, and who, when you look towards the RMR, when we look towards random mixers that make deep runs, we look at Paris and we saw ITV, Apex, Monty, Game Legion kind of come out of nowhere and make deep runs. ICLA feel like they're kind of one of those teams that could make it to an RMR, could even go a little bit further if luck falls in their favor. That's kind of where they stand in my eyes.
Well, we'll see how far they can go in terms of the ESL Challenger League. Tomorrow is the last day of the relegation phase. Both matches kick off at 7 p.m. CET, so make sure you're tuning back in the same channel for us to cover, of course, one of those 2 best of 3 proceedings. But that's going to be it from us here this evening for the ESL Challenger League. RUSHB move forward to next season. We'll be back tomorrow to see who else will join them. We'll see you then.